opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack. This like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. I am your host, Scott. It is Monday, January 27th, 2025. We got a packed show for y'all today, man. A lot of things to talk about. We're going to be jumping from all the different leagues. Of course, got NFL talk, got some NBA talk as we start to pivot into more NBA talk on the show with only one more game left in the NFL season. We've even got a little bit of baseball talk for you today, man. Of course, Pavy be joining us today as we talk NBA, and the homie Chuck Inglish should be joining us an hour or two. He's been wanting to get some shit off his chest about his Lions losing about 10 days ago. So we'll talk to him on that, man. But of course, first you can follow me on all social media platforms at Barbershare Scott. You can follow the Barbers Chair Network at Barbers Chair Net on all social media platforms, as well as our partners, H&B Media. Follow them at H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram. And of course, subscribe to our Patreon, man, patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network. If you're going to listen to this on the podcast version, there is a link in the description box. We'll take you right to it. But if you're watching this on YouTube, take your phone up to the screen, scan the QR code, and that'll take you right to the link. There'll be 3 different tiers. So if you subscribe to the $10 holla, the Barbers Chair All Access tier, that is, you'll get 25% off on your first order at the Barbershop Network merchandise shop, and that is bcnetshop.com, man. Get all of your gear over there, man. So we appreciate everybody. If you're watching this on Instagram, because of Instagram rules, I don't know if Instagram rules because I ain't got enough followers. Only the first hour will be live stream. So after that, come on over to the YouTube, man. But let's bring in my co-host for the evening, afternoon, wherever you're at, man. We've got Courtney in the building. You can follow Courtney at 1-800-CALLA-BRO on all social media platforms. We got the homie Tosin here as well. You can follow Tosin. Tosin, what's your social? I be messing your name up, dog.
It's TSNMKND. So it's my full name with no vowels. And then follow Shirtless Plantain Show everywhere.
Follow him everywhere on that. Bang is on a call on the other link. He'll be joining in just a moment. You can follow him at JR Bang on all social media platforms, man. Of course, Dante's not here on Monday. And Mikey, man, we gotta put a float in there for Mikey. Mikey's final show will be on Friday. No, I did not fire that nigga. So let's just get that out the way right now. I did not pull a Joe Button. I did not fire anybody, you know. But yeah, we got some changes. So, but Mikey's final show will be on Friday, man. But Courtney, we know you had how was your weekend? I can tell how your weekend was, but how was your weekend?
It was a good one. Went out to go watch some football yesterday. Yeah, it was a hell of a weekend, but a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad somebody had a good weekend out. So I didn't do nothing this week. I didn't know what to do with myself on Saturday. This is the first time that we had no football since August on a Saturday. And I was like, this is why I got to find something to watch on Netflix, nigga. Like, I was losing it.
Brother, there was an elite hockey game on Saturday. That's crazy.
Look, I only watch hockey when the Blackhawks are good. So, AKA, I ain't watched none in 8 years.
Correct.
So, that's how long it's been. And I just can't. I feel like I forced myself to watch some NBA because we have to talk all sports on this show. But it was hard because the NBA keeps forcing Steph and LeBron volume 5,000 in front of my face. But that was my weekend. Tosin, how was your weekend, brother?
Amazing. I had a successful hate watch yesterday. Very happy the Bulls lost the same way we did. So, very, very wonderful hate watch. And Josh Allen get no accolades. So I'm very happy.
we weren't able to talk to you after the Ravens elimination. How did that particular one feel? Like, because I saw the homie, shout out to homie Rita. I only know what the Pulse of Ravens fans, my page, and I feel like there was a lot of people throwing blame in different other places. What did you feel about that loss?
I'm not gonna hold you. 5 minutes after we lost, I was over it. Completely just over it. I just think I've got to a place of maturity in my life where I'm just like, listen, man, these are a bunch of multimillionaire dudes that we're crying about. Like, they already won in life. So I got rent due. But I mean, Lamar didn't do too well in the first half. Obviously had the interception. He fumbled as well. But that second half, especially towards that last drive that he had, shows that he's the second best quarterback in the league. I mean, he has Steven Sims and Anthony Miller as his wide receivers, and he still drove down the field. Josh tried to drive down the field yesterday and got stopped, but that's neither here nor there. But it's one of those things that we just got to upgrade our trenches, offensive and defensive line. We got to get another safety too. But John is smarter than I am. We got Todd Monken back for another year or two. He extended his contract, so it is what it is. Run it back and see what we can do.
That just tells you how bad the New Orleans Saints job is. Yeah. Courtney, I had to do it, but I had to do it. No, nobody wants that job. No, nobody wants that job. I'm Mike McCarthy going back into hiding. We don't even hear his name anymore. But Tosin was the first one to let me know that the Bears are hired Ben Johnson. What was funny, because last week we were talking about Ben Johnson. I'll be feeling bad for Courtney sometimes. You ever seen that meme of Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Jay Gyllenhaal at the Nets game? And Jay's in the middle, and it's just Beyonce and Jay Gyllenhaal talking about something. That's her whenever we're talking about the Bears.
Right.
And she's like, you just said you were done talking about the Bears. And then that's when the news broke, because you would text me and Mikey threw the link in. I was like, oh, and my phone started blowing up like I won a lottery or some shit. But
you did.
Well, so it looks good. I'm not going to. He said Saints offer bang the job. Orlando said that in the chat. The Saints offer bang the job.
Shit, I'll take it.
They gonna call you a DI coach.
Please,
hey, I'll be a DI coach right now.
Jay Canner needs you.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a good hire. I gave myself 1 week to celebrate the hire. Now it's like, Ryan Poles, I'm not done with you. Get players to protect Caleb Williams and make sure Ben Johnson's plays actually work with the offensive line. Bang, I can see you had a eventful weekend for the kids. For the kids. How was your weekend?
Kids. Now, weekend was good, man. Had a out-of-town work joint. Had a lot to drink, a lot to celebrate. Also, a lot to donate, you know what I'm saying? So no, everything went good, and got to watch. I never watch football in the airport.
It's a spiritual experience.
I felt like I was really like one of those like white dudes who just like travel from state to state selling shoes or some shit. Yeah, where you from? I'm from Biloxi, Mississippi. I sell shoes. That was good. Watched the rest of the game last night. Like Tosin said, I was like, yes. Like after Buffalo lost, not because I'm a Josh Allen hater, like I'm not Courtney, I don't call him Joshua.
I definitely am. Like 100%.
Don't forget Dante either. Dante still stuffly hates that nigga.
But it was because of the media. Like the media tends to anoint people before they need to be anointed. And they was basically rolling out the red carpet for him. Like they rolled out the red carpet for Josh Allen like like they will roll out the red carpet for a wrestler just for him to lose to Stone Cold. Like this new person got a chance to win the title, and then he's going up against Stone Cold, and there's a couple of like false pins, and then Stone Cold actually wins. Like that's what this was like. You really thought for a while that, man, maybe Buffalo got it, but Kansas City was like, not so fast, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, this was like watching two of my kids fight. Obviously, I'm a massive Patrick Mahomes fan, but I'm also a Josh Allen fan. But as I said on this show, since the last Super Bowl, I will never pick against the Chiefs again. I just will not do it. And the worst thing about it to me, and that's the perfect segue into it right now, I don't think Josh played bad. It was just one of them situations where, niggas lost. That's just really what it comes down to, man. I got to give it to Steve Spagnuolo, man. He's been such a great defensive coordinator going back to the Eli Manning era Giants. That he's been so good that you don't even see him. For some reason, he never gets head coaching offers. He's been just as important to this Chiefs run as Andy Reid, as Patrick Mahomes, as Travis Kelce. And you can argue the last 2 years, the defense has been carrying the offense. Because if you look at Pat's stats, as great as Pat is, this has not been Pat's best year. You know what I'm saying? This is probably numbers-wise, which is crazy to say, his worst year. Didn't make a Pro Bowl, didn't do any of that, threw, more interceptions than I've ever seen him throw. But it's just still hard to beat these guys, man. But final score was 32-29. That field goal sealed it with like 3 minutes left. Final drive, Josh Allen was driving. To me, where they lost the game was that third down play call. I don't like, they're going to do a screen on 3rd and 10, which I don't advise doing when your season's on the line. At least give it somebody who's faster than Amari Cooper. I just didn't understand that. Joe Brady, I'm glad he's going back because he still needs a little bit more seasoning before he becomes a head coach. A lot of these goal line plays been very, very sketchy. Even last week against Baltimore, I didn't understand. And that final blitz, that didn't look like a blitz on 4th down, was amazing. And I know people keep showing the Dalton Kincaid videos. Oh, he should have got the ball off. He had no chance to get up. He just threw some shit up. If Dalton Kincaid would have caught it, it'd have been amazing. Probably the best play in Buffalo Bills history if they went on to win that game. But let's not act like this is some perfect throw. And that goes to the media, like you just said, Bang. I forgot what I was watching this morning, but they said, well, Josh gave him a chance. He really didn't. He just threw that motherfucker up. Like, it wasn't like a precision pass or anything like that. If he'd have caught it, great. But great defense on that part. Patrick Mahomes, 18-26, 245 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Kareem Hunt, he's looking like, Kareem Hunt a couple years ago, 64 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. It was just an overall good game for them. With the Chiefs was what they do now. They beat you as a unit. And, at this point, man, what we got to do is accept the fact that Patrick Mahomes is inevitable. And I see a lot of people out there who have Chiefs fatigue and, I'm tired of them winning. And I was thinking about this the other day because I was rewatching the Patriots. I call it the Patriots Last Dance documentary that they dropped last year on Apple TV. And I remember the episode with 2018 when the Patriots won their last championship and the AFC Championship game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And everybody was big Pat fans. He's young. This is the new guy, and how everybody was rooting against Brady to now nobody likes this nigga. And it goes back to my fact of people like success, but not when you're too successful. When you're too successful, that's when niggas don't like you. Whether it's sports, whether it's real life, when it gets OD, people get fatigued. I want to see some other team win. How about you get a team to beat them? We just saw this with the Golden State Warriors a couple years ago. Why don't you get someone to beat them? Now, I understand that everybody wants their team to win. I get that. But I think we should also just be appreciating the greatness that we see from Patrick Mahomes. And I'm tired about hearing the referees, too. Like, yes, there's bad calls. I don't think that there's some NFL conspiracy to get the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Because, number one, it's not like Kansas City is a big market like L.A. or Chicago or New York. If it was a big market, why haven't they helped the Bears out, nigga? Like, I don't think it has nothing to do with that. The NFL sells themselves. It doesn't matter what city goes there. And then we also got to stop acting like the best players in the league don't get favorable calls. And I've seen it from too many people who are LeBron James fans complaining about calls. which was hilarious to me, man. So I just think Pat is amazing. He's on a path right now to try to do something that's never been done in the league. I think we're putting too much dip on our shit with the Brady conversation, but I understand why it's coming. But that's how I felt about that, man. Bang, I'm going to go to you first. What you think about last night's W for the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes in general? This is what 7th to 8th AFC Championship games going for ring number 4.
My bad. My wife told me I need to get some glasses because her black shirt looks blue.
Yeah,
she ain't at no fucking light. No, man. It was like what I was saying earlier. Like, it's official. Any team that goes up against the Kansas City Chiefs is like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. Like, you really think you have them and you don't. And I kind of feel bad for folks, but I like to see excellence. I kind of feel bad for Josh Allen.
Fuck that.
Wait.
Fuck that. I don't feel bad for that.
Wait a minute, Courtney. Let me run. I kind of feel bad for Josh Allen, but when you look at the media anointing him the way that they anoint him, it's like, come on now, mind you, hey, he was out there solo dolo for a minute, like really just like, nah, excuse me, we can't lose this game. We can't. Like that one drive, that was him. That was him. But people got to start talking about the Kansas City Chiefs more than Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Like Steve Spagnuolo is over there killing it on that defensive side of the ball. That defensive line got after it that first half of the game. Their defensive backs is nice. Their offensive line, look, I hope homie don't want to stay there and he want to get $20 million from the Bears. I hope he do. Yeah, I hope Trey Smith.
I believe he hit free agency when I see it. Yeah.
I mean, but that's the point. I hope. But I don't believe that shit because, man, you see, that team is not only a complete team. That team, at its worst, is better than every team in the league. We talk shit about the Kansas City Chiefs. We talk shit about, hey, man, it was a down year for Pat. People don't want to talk about it. It was a down year for Pat. And look at him in the goddamn Super Bowl. Again, I said that they probably don't make it to the Super Bowl because of attrition. When you play that many games for 3 years, and if you really want to be technical, they've been doing this shit for 5. They've been playing all year long, and they have not really gotten hit by the injury bug heavy. And if it was just like nagging shit, and they still win. We got to stop talking about the Kansas City Chiefs like it's just Patrick Mahomes, because last night showed it. And it also showed that, man, I don't know who's going to be the person that gets that Hakeem Olajuwon title. Right. Like that's the conversation we need to have. Like every year, just say pencil Kansas City into the Super Bowl until they don't go. But I think the conversation is who's going to get the Karl Malone ring. I mean, not the Karl Malone. Who's going to get the Hakeem Olajuwon ring? Is it going to be Joe Burrow if everybody's healthy and everybody comes back? Is it going to be Josh Allen? But you got Sean McDermott out here doing the dummy too. Is it going to be Lamar? Like, who's going to get that Olajuwon ring?
And you know what's the crazy thing too about that is if you're Joe Burrow, you should feel like shit right now because you beat him a couple years ago and you lost to Matthew Stafford, my nigga. Like that's low key worse than losing to Mahomes because you beat him. If you beat him, you gotta take advantage of it. Like that's the part right there that's gotta be annoying. Tosin, what you think about the Chiefs' performance, them heading towards a three-peat, and just I guess like what it means to appreciating greatness to just fuck it. I hate niggas. Like.
Yeah. So I want to touch on what you said about the Bengals losing to the Rams. That was a great hate watch for me. I thoroughly y'all got all the way there just to lose. My team's never lost in the Super Bowl, by the way. But that's neither here nor there.
Mine hasn't either, but I wasn't born yet. No, actually, it's a lot. We lost 2007. I forget about that.
Yeah, how you forget that shit?
Marcus, I want to say something that Bang just said. Marcus Spears said something years ago. It's all about the trenches, and it is. Your offensive, defensive line is the most important thing in this league. I don't care how many great receivers you have, how many great running backs you have. If you don't got a good offensive, defensive line, you're not gonna do shit. And it just is what it is. I was watching old Ravens games. It's like, damn, we used to have Haloli Nada on our defensive end, on our defensive line, and we don't have that anymore. It's like you need that, and it's. Obviously, Chris Jones is one of the greatest defensive players that ever played. Let's call a spade a spade. That guy causes so much fear in everybody, and he's the engine that keeps everyone going. They got really good corners, like you were saying. Trent McDuffie's insane. And then everybody just buys in. Like, you got Juju Smith-Schuster, who's actually a meme at this point, but he had 2 big catches yesterday. Xavier Worthy's bought in. Hollywood Brown is actually catching passes, because if he did that against Detroit, wouldn't have lost against them. That's years ago, but this team everyone's bought in, right? And it's like you were saying with greatness, everybody doesn't really like when people are too successful. You're like, okay, now you're doing too much. We don't like this. We don't like you've become too successful. But I'm gonna keep it a buck. The frog sounding dude is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, arguably the second best quarterback. He's not better than Tom, but he's probably the second best quarterback to ever do it. So they're just a really, really good team. Andy Reid's got them playing well. It is what it is on both sides of the ball. Steve's great. Andy's great, and Steve was also, with the Ravens and the Saints, and he's just been great wherever he's been. So it is what it is. But like you're saying, who's going to get the Hakeem ring? It's true. It's like somebody has to step up next year. It's like, yo, who really wants to win who wants to win a ring? Because these dudes are so much better than you. And the thing is, they don't make mistakes. That's the difference between the Chiefs and everybody else. Like, yeah, like Pat fumbled yesterday, but his team's going to make up for it. Lamar fumbled, and they didn't really do anything. The same thing with Josh and them yesterday. It's like, you can't mess up. You got to play mistake-free football against the Chiefs. And we'll talk about the Eagles too and the Commanders, but that's what happened to the Commanders yesterday. They got their ass beat because, they played against a team that's really good in the trenches. So, yeah, it is what it is.
The Commanders was my hate watch Infinity Stone. My final one. My hand is clear now.
Which is crazy. What did they do to you?
No, that's not what they did to me. It's their fans. The Commander Reddit can suck my dick. Okay, I remember months ago. I'm not done with you niggas. I got stuff y'all later in the show. But Courtney, Courtney, what's your take on the Chiefs going back to the bowl?
I mean, sick. I guess I don't. I mean, I don't hate the Chiefs. I don't hate Patrick Mahomes. How can you be mad? It's greatness. We're literally witnessing history. You got to appreciate it. We're going to get into it about Jalen Hurts in a little bit, but we all kind of touched on it. Jalen Hurts has been to more Super Bowls than like half of the great quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm just saying. Maybe he's better than people think.
Yeah, we're going to get into Jalen in just 1 second. I think that because I got a Jalen take too, but what I think about with the Chiefs, man, I think the Chiefs hate is so big right now that we're having Patriots revisionist history. Somebody really tweeted, I don't know if the Patriots hate being this big. I was like, are we kidding?
Honestly,
are we serious?
Shit.
Honestly, I think it's because, like, okay, so obviously men are very protective about football, and now that you're introducing the Taylor Swift aspect of that fandom and activating all these women now watching, it's been getting real toxic. Chiefs fandom has been real toxic as of late. And I'm sure that, people, for some reason, very divisive gal. I feel like she hasn't really done anything to anybody. It's okay to like not like her music or whatever. But I really don't understand the Taylor Swift hate. So I feel like that's kind of just like added gasoline to the.
And the easy answer is people hate greatness.
Yeah, and I also think that the thing is too, there's a lot of younger people on social who got very loud voices, right? Like I seen a lot of Ravens fans talking about something like, "Oh, we should fire John Harbaugh. We should get rid of Eric DeCosta." I'm like, at worst, Eric DeCosta is a top 5 GM at worst in the league, and it's like you don't want to be inconsistent in NFL. You have to be consistently like going to playoffs every year, or else you turn to Jerry Jones, where you're just crying in press conferences every time. And you're starting to see people who have never seen these things in person. Like they've never seen the actual Patriots run, but they only go on YouTube or look up highlights. Like, no, you weren't there to see how hellacious it was to see the Patriots do this every year. Like I still got memories of Billy Cundiff missing, and like Lee Evans. So it's just like, I hate the Patriots to this day. I don't care how bad they are. I want them to continue being bad because that still hurts me. So, Fuck the Patriots.
Yeah, I think the difference between the Patriots and the Chiefs are more visible. Like these niggas got commercials. Like I don't think that. Of course, Patriots had commercials, but you see Andy Reid every 2 seconds. My fumble Rooski. Like this probably why the hate looks like it's a little bit too much right there, man. But let's move to the NFC side of things. NFC Championship game was the first game that came on last night, and this one was a blowout. The Chiefs, not Chiefs, but the Eagles won 55-23 over the Washington Commanders. They scored the most points in conference championship history last night. Jalen Hurts, 20 of 28, 246 yards passing, 1 touchdown. He had 3 on the ground, a couple of those with a tush push, brotherly shove, with whatever the hell they call it now. And in a losing effort, Jayden Daniels, 29 of 48. 1 touchdown, 1 BLT at the end. I'm gonna give it to you first because I know you said you had something about Jalen you wanted to say.
No, I just feel like we don't give Jalen Hurts enough credit. I feel like don't get me wrong. Okay, Jalen Hurts be making every quarterback has a bozo gene though. It's like in the DNA. You're just making questionable decisions, but I feel like we treat Jalen Hurts like a fucking Make-A-Wish quarterback. Like he's just happy to be there, and like his team is just like taking him along for the ride. I feel like we gotta put some respect on his name. That was a great game yesterday.
I put it like this. This is my take on Jalen Hurts. Now this is not gonna obviously help my I hate black quarterbacks thing.
Never meeting the allegation.
I'm never gonna beat in the allegations, but I don't. This thing. He makes plays, right? I'm not high on his coach either. This thing about the Eagles, which is weird to me. I don't think Nick Sirianni is the best coach, and I don't think that Jalen Hurts is the best passer of the football. But that nigga makes plays when it's time to make plays, and he wins a game. He's the first person since Jim Kelly to lose a Super Bowl and make it back. Nobody else has done that. That is an incredible stat to me. Very rarely, even when they do lose games, does it really be because of him? You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I feel like that's saying that you have to give him credit for. Even the Super Bowl they lost 2 years ago, you can argue that he was the best player on the field, no matter who. He said, no, he's way better than Purdy. I'm not gonna let y'all do that. We're not gonna do that. He's a better player than Brock Purdy. But I think it is because he does have such a stacked team that maybe people don't give him the benefit of the doubt. But I do think we got to treat him as a winner. I don't know where I rank him in my top 10 quarterback list. But I know when you're going to the NFC, he can't be any lower than top 3 just off what he's done. But Tosin, what do you think about Jalen Hurts and his play?
Jalen Hurts is a great game manager who has a really good offensive line. And the system just fits. It works for him. Also, it doesn't help that Jalen Hurts is also like extremely like gets the ladies going. So a lot of dudes hate him for that. So it's just like niggas is mad at a handsome game manager, and it's tough, you know. And he's just doing what he does. And it doesn't help also that Jalen is 26, but also 56 at the same time. He comes to games wearing Kangos and shit. So people will have reason to hate on him, but he's doing what he does. Back-to-back Super Bowls, you can't hate on that at all. And he's doing what he does. And I'm not mad. Like, I'm generally not mad because you have to get the job done. You have to play mistake-free football, and he's been doing that in the playoffs. And the Eagles are where they are. And he fits them, in a weird way. Like, it's perfect. Like, they literally all, he's not going to throw the sexiest throws. It's not his game. His game is to, give it to his running back, run maybe, get a good little option play. Then that's what he does. But I'm not mad at him because the NFC sucks as far as quarterbacks. He dresses like Montel Jordan. Absolutely does.
He do dress
like Shamar Moore in 2000.
What was that? Kyron said he looked like Ahmad Rashad yesterday.
Yeah, that wasn't Ahmad Rashad fit he had on. But yeah,
someone said, Scott, someone said he dresses like the boyfriend on like a black sitcom that comes on the
he just like he look like the nigga who they want to act like Queen Latifah would date on Living Single.
Nah,
Yeah.
the dude, what's the dude, the light skinned dude from the crib that anytime he come on the show, you know that the season is gonna be the final season. What's that name?
You talking about my man from Different World?
Yeah, nah, what's my man name that got his ass whooped on Soul Food?
Oh, I know
Jamal
who you
Moore?
talking about.
Yeah, that nigga
I
that
know
got
what you
his ass
talking
whooped
about.
on
I know
Soul
you
Food,
talking about. I don't know his
light-skinned
name though. He look like he about to go sleep with Cousin Faith. That's what he look like.
nigga.
But Bang, how do you properly evaluate Jalen Hurts?
Man, that's a loaded question.
Exactly.
And it's a loaded question because we still look at like pocket quarterbacks and all of that stuff. And then you look at what Patrick Mahomes do. And then you look at that at Hurts and you like, he kind of like in the middle of all of that. And he's like, it's weird saying he's like poor man's Lamar Jackson,
That's crazy.
considering that he's been to now 2 Super Bowls. But he's poor man's Lamar Jackson. Like Lamar Jackson to me is more accurate. He's the better passer. He's the better runner and everything. He's the better athlete. And then you got Hurts, who's like all of that, but just a lesser version. Now, that just shows you how great Lamar Jackson is to me and what he might not have around him that Hurts got. Hurts got, man, running backs, 2 wide receivers. He's set at the tight end position. He has probably the best offensive line in the league. And on defense, he got a hell of a defense. He got great coaches. Jalen Hurts is when you say drafting matters, because I think you could probably put a couple of other quarterbacks in the position that Hurts is in, and they might just be successful. That's how good he has it around him. So the other reason why I think it's kind of hard to evaluate, because you got Lamar Jackson, who just got a Pro Bowl wide receiver for the first time. His best wide receiver was a tight end for years. And that motherfucker dropped the ball. Sorry, Tosin.
And fumbled.
And fumbled. You got Joe Burrow, who offensive line still huff. Right? You got Josh Allen, who be playing by himself sometimes. And then you look at that lineage of like Alabama QBs. They're either like Tua or Jalen Milroe.
Yeah.
So it's hard to evaluate him, in my opinion, until he's playing with less than. But I don't want him to play with less than. I want greatness to be surrounded. I want you to be surrounded by greatness. So do you think?
I just feel like it's unfair to Jalen Hurts because Howie Roseman has built a really good team.
Very unfair.
You know how, like, bro is just a winner. 2 natties, college football playoff appearance, playoffs, Super Bowl, playoffs, Super Bowl. I'm just saying, like, you don't just stumble into that. Like, I really think it's unfair for people to say that he's essentially just being carried by the rest of his team. I feel like
I want to be clear.
No, I wasn't saying that you said that.
No, but I feel you. I just want to make it clear. I'm not saying he's being carried at all. It is unfair to do that, but on the flip side of it, it's like, man, you got all of that around you. But when he run off a couple of them runs, that run that they took back, that run that he scored on, and some of them other joints, you like, okay, Purdy ain't doing that shit.
Nope.
Yeah, and I think too, I gotta give some love to the Eagles general manager, just their front office ownership in general. As a fan of a team that I hope is going in the right direction, and that Kevin Warren is bringing some balance and having a charter franchise actually act like the charter franchise. I hope that we can get to that. I gotta give they are the gold standard in the NFC. In 8 seasons, this is their 3rd Super Bowl appearance, and they have been they're 1-1 in the first 2 right now, and with 3 different teams, 3 different rosters, and they still made it back. And they've even been to NFC championship games through that time as well. You got an owner in Jeffrey Lurie who We hear us in talks to try to buy the Boston Celtics. And if you're a Boston Celtics fan, you should love that because he obviously cares about winning. Howie Roseman, best general manager in football, in my opinion. The way that they draft, the way they continuously add. Quinyon Mitchell, another great draft pick. Jalen Carter, who I said on draft day, I didn't care what all the controversy that was around him, the Bears should have took him. And I'm not saying that I don't think Darnell Wright won't be a good right tackle. I think he's going to be a good right tackle. Might even be a damn good right tackle. But that guy to me has superstar written all over him, Jalen Carter, and that's somebody I wish they should have got. Bill the Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, and just all the different things. Then getting Saquon Barkley. I want to give more love to that. And I always go back to this, what Michael Jordan said about he didn't like how Jerry Cross said organizations win championships. And I get what he's saying because at the end of the day, you can have the best organization, best coaching, but if you don't have the roster to do it, it don't matter. So Mike wasn't wrong in that, but neither was Jerry Cross. Very rarely do you see teams win championships with bad front offices and bad management, or at the least bad ownership, but they at least let their guys do the job. And that's what you're seeing in Philadelphia. And you want to surround your quarterback with great talent. And so I think when people use it against him, that's unfair. My biggest criticism is like I don't think like he's the best at throwing sometimes, but if he gets it done and they're winning, it don't really matter. How you win don't really even matter. So that's kind of what goes to Saquon Barkley. Oh, go ahead. My bad, Tosin. Go ahead.
I want to add to your point about like the organizations. There's a reason why every year we're in like December, January talking about the same teams in the NFL: the Bills, the Ravens, the Niners, even the Rams. Like we laugh at the Rams for like when they won the Super Bowl, they bet all their chips in, but the Rams rebuilt really quickly with Jared Verse and all those other dudes and Brandon Fisk. It's like the best teams in every single sport. I don't care what sport you're in. If your organization is not good, it's gonna show. And there's a reason why there's the same teams drafted in the top 10 every single year because they don't know what the fuck they're doing in the draft. It's why someone like Kyle Hamilton will fall to 14 because you keep overthinking the dumb things. It's why like Ty Linderbaum will fall to 26. And they're all the Ravens draft well. No, we just take advantage of the fact you guys are stupid. So it's like the best teams all ran well every single year, and that's why they're picking last. And that's why they're picking and find a way to get these players because that's what good teams do. It starts from the top and it goes all the way down to your team. So that was just something that came to my head when you said that. Even the Bills, they draft well as well.
That's true. They just have the unfortunate of being in I thought being in the same division with Aaron Rodgers was a pain in the ass. No, being in the same conference with Patrick Mahomes. Like I know if the Bears ever do get to the Super Bowl again, I just gotta hope that one of y'all niggas knock him out. I just gotta hope that somebody knock him out. That I ain't gotta run into him before I get in there, man. But that's the craziest thing about the AFC is like you think about it in quarterbacks, it's like you got Lamar, you got Josh Allen, you got Patrick Mahomes, you got Joe Burrow, and it's just like, yo, wait, this is a gauntlet. This shit don't make any sense. And you got CJ Stroud. It's like, yo, somebody go to NFC. Somebody just request a trade and go to an NFC team because you're not gonna win. Like not everyone's gonna get a ring, and it's unfortunate, but that's just the way the AFC is built. Just a bunch of dogs and quarterbacks. And that's also why I never believed the Ben Johnson Raider stuff, which as we found out this weekend from his own agent, there was bullshit that he made up to get the Bears to pay up. I was like, nobody wants to start their career and not only the same conference as Patrick Mahomes, but same division as Mahomes.
Wait a minute. You say he did what?
You didn't watch the Rick Smith interview?
Fam,
So we'll get more into it in the local hour. Rick Smith had an interview with Bill Zimmerman of Bears Banter, and he said that the Raiders that he made up. This is bullshit. They made that up so they could take the smoke away and pay him more. But there's a lot of more good things he said. We'll get into that in the local hour. But we got to talk about Saquon Barkley. No way you can talk about this Eagles run without Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, he went for 118 yards rushing off 15 carries, 3 touchdowns. A lot of them were like the goal line touchdowns, which they owed him for as many as they took away from him with the brotherly shove this year. But one amazing touchdown on like the first or second play.
It was the first, wasn't it?
I think it was the first or second. I think
it was the first. His first carry.
It was the second play.
Matter of fact, his
dimensional
first two
goddamn
carries.
pass.
Yeah, his first 2 carries was touchdowns, though.
Just ridiculous. I've said this all year, and I'm gonna continue to say it. Even though I know it's not a quarterback award, that is the MVP. I'm sorry, we have not seen a running back do this probably since Adrian Peterson. Like, it's just crazy. And it also, I know Giants fans are tired of hearing about it, but maybe your GM should have signed the nigga. I'm sorry. Like, nothing stops you from re-signing him. Like, we keep saying, oh, you had the same record. You don't let a talent like that go away. And now the good thing when being with the Eagles is that more people get to see just how great of a player he is. And this is the one fact that why I think that they have a fighting chance to beat the Chiefs because of just how good Saquon has been. He's literally like a video game, bro. Like, there's nothing you can do. That first touchdown, any other running back just stopped. He hit him with a juke move, he gone. And he is just like, he's added to the Eagles culture. I got a lot of Philly homies. They mess with him. And I just feel like that's a good part to the team. And this is one of the best performances we've seen. And we're also seeing that running backs is still important. Running backs still important. People trying to phase them out. Oh, it don't matter. You just get a 2-back system. No, you have a dog like that, you're going to go to another level because the Eagles play how everybody else doesn't play. We're going to run the football, and then we're going to have a quarterback who can make plays when we need them to make. Courtney, what do you think about Saquon's performance, not just last night, but this entire season?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna sound like a real hater. First off, they need the Howie Roseman needs to send edible arrangements to New York immediately. What a season. I really don't know what else to say that hasn't already been said. Hell of a performance. And honestly, I really think, I know we're going to get into Super Bowl talk and all that. He's the very much the X factor in this game. Also, Kenneth Gainwell had a great game yesterday too.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. But yeah, what a season. Dude's a dog. And that is also my MVP. No offense to Lamar.
Tosin, what you feel about Saquon? Obviously, I know you think Lamar's MVP, as you should. What do you think about Saquon's performance with this team?
Running backs matter. End of the day, I formation running backs matter all the time. And it's beautiful to see this man just get his flowers. Joe Sean deserves to run around in New York and New Jersey, both states, because I don't know how you let that man leave because he's incredible. And he's really bought into what Philly's selling. And it's a great running back. That's all it is with him. And I'm glad we're seeing it. Like you're saying, I think that's a great equalizer for the Chiefs too. Is like you going against Saquon is now you got a game plan differently. So he's great.
Bang, man, go ahead. What you think about Saquon Barkley? Y'all see that video of that older black guy like Saquon Barkley, man. Saquon Barkley.
I respect Saquon Barkley for more than what he did on the field. I respect him for bringing back the running back position. I respect him and Josh Jacobs having a conversation about bringing back the running back position. Running backs matter, man, and we've been saying this for a while. Saquon Barkley also is the MVP. I know we're in a quarterback-driven league and all of that stuff, yada, 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 yada. But you know when the NFL was amazing? When you looked at everybody for a chance of MVP. You could look at Dan Marino, Joe Montana. You could look at Troy Aikman, Steve Young, Steve McNair. But you could look at Sean Alexander. You could look at Barry Sanders. You can look at Adrian Peterson. You can look at all of these people. That's when the NFL is good. The pussification of the NFL starts with everybody wanting to have the MVP be a quarterback-driven award. The league was great when you had the running back as the first pick in the NFL draft sometimes. Sometimes they ended up like a John Carter. Sometimes they ended up like other running back greats. But the running back position, if done well, and the way that some of these defensive coaches play their safeties too far back, it gives you a chance to have a season like Saquon had. Not to mention that you got the best offensive line in the league. So, yeah, running backs matter. And I hope that young kids look and say, hey, no, we about to make this a position again. If you want to be like Reggie Bush and do it, fine. If you want to be a bruiser, like a Earl Campbell, that's cool too. If you want to be a hybrid of that, like Saquon is, do that too. But when I look at Saquon, I see old types of Walter Payton. I see old clips of that. That man cold. And the fact that he will not be MVP, knowing that this Eagles team wouldn't be what they was without his leadership either, it's bullshit.
Let's go to the Commanders real quick, man. We'll save our Super Bowl thoughts for next week. I want a little more time to marinate on that. But let's go to the Commanders, man. Commanders had a great season, finished 12-5. Nobody had them being where they were last night, making it to the NFC Championship game. But I gotta say this, and yeah, y'all might come off like a hater, but whatever, nigga. I think they hit their peak last night. I think it's gonna be very hard for them to get back to where they were at, because I feel like it was one of those things where it was just everything clicking at once. I still think they have some of the problems that we saw at the beginning of the season. There's nobody on that defense that like jumps off the page for me. Marshawn Lattimore, yeah, you want to fight niggas, but you're not as good as you once was. Bobby Wagner has been, I don't want to call him washed, but I will say he's gotten away with a lot of phony all-pros last couple years. I got to say, even before this, like there's a couple of these that should have went to Roquan that went to Bobby Wagner that we saw from that. And also now people have a year worth of film on Jayden Daniels. I think Jayden Daniels probably had the best rookie season I've seen from a quarterback in a long time, maybe ever, that we've seen. But now you got it, yeah.
Better than CJ Stroud last year?
Oh, wait, but yeah, better than CJ Stroud for sure.
Is it just because of the situation he ended up in, the NFC Championship?
Yeah, NFC Championship game. Yeah, he had a chance to get the Super Bowl. That's why I put him over CJ. And just he's overall, he's better rusher than CJ. See, I'll put him with CJ. I don't know if Marino won the Super Bowl his rookie year or not. Did he? I don't know if he did. If that was the case, I gotta go back and look. But now you got a year of tape with any quarterback. I don't feel like a quarterback you've got to about year 3 of their system. Now we're gonna see how they adjust to year 2 of Jayden Daniels. So, and also they're in the division with the Eagles, man. So I say that it doesn't matter how good a ride is. If you don't actually get the goal, you don't know when you're gonna be back there. And that's not me hating, that's just real. We don't know. CJ Stroud last year was one of the most accurate quarterbacks in football. This year, this nigga didn't know where to throw the ball. So I think that's going to be something that we can see continue next year. And maybe this was their peak. That's really what I think about that. But good year for them. But this is not a situation where I know we're going to hear this. Oh, this is just their first year. They'll be back. We don't know. It's the NFL. We have no idea. Courtney, just quickly let me know what you thought about the Commander season.
Yeah, well, I remember we clipped it up. It was one of our reels that we had where I said the Commanders were going to annoy the shit out of teams this season. How many times did Jayden Daniels drop back yesterday? Like fucking 50 times, which is crazy.
Yeah, 49 times. That's
absolutely diabolical. But yeah, no, this team, in my opinion, I do think that they are going to be back. It's tough, obviously, when you are literally in the same division as the Eagles. I'm not Cowboys. Who cares? The Giants suck. There's not that many good teams in the NFL. I've said that before. There's not that many. And I think you get Terry McLaurin some help, maybe another running back that, no offense, Brian Robinson, it was a good run. But yeah, I feel like this team can and will be back. I really believe that.
Bang, do you think that Jayden Daniels is going to be back, or this was just the peak of their powers already?
I also was one of the people on here saying that the Commanders was probably going to be better than people realize. I didn't expect them to be this shit. But I thought they was going to have a good season, and I thought they'd be fighting for a playoff spot. With that being said, yeah, I'll be surprised. But I think I'll be sure about that in the offseason. And here's why. And I think Alex has said it. They got cap space. Like when you do this and then you could go get people. And then early in the season, one of the things that was said that, when they start winning and stuff is that people want to go to the Commanders. Like, let's Scott, who your favorite baseball team right now?
The Los Angeles Dodgers.
Who is one of the owners for the Los Angeles Dodgers?
Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson is the best recruiter in sports, bar none. So you got the third highest cap or lowest cap or highest cap space. You got a third highest cap space, and you got Magic Johnson going over there talking about some say, bruh. Man, we doing something big over here. We about to get a new stadium. We about to do this. Hey, you go park on 14th, have a good time. You know what I'm saying? You go to stadium if you want to go to the strip club. I'm just saying, no, DC still, hey, Chocolate City. Come on. You know, Magic, like, come on now. Come on.
I'll say the one difference is, and I agree with you because Jayden is great. The one difference is a lot easier to sell niggas come to Los Angeles than it is to sell niggas.
Oh, no. I feel you. I feel you. But the fact that earlier in the season, before they even got to where they got to at the end of the season, folks was like, yo, people want to go to the Commanders now. I'm still iffy, but if the magic touch falls into the NFL's lap, yo, they have them a good offseason. Yo, they might be around for a while.
Tosin, man, what you think about this real quick, and then we're gonna spend the last couple minutes on these coaches.
They did solid, man. I mean, they'll be fine. Like we said, they got a lot of cap space. A lot of people would actually go there and play. Hopefully Jayden doesn't do what CJ did, which is go on a whole bunch of podcast tours. Go work out. We want to see. Go work out, shut your mouth, listen to your mom, and keep it pushing. I want to say something.
Don't listen to your mom. Get on some hoes, nigga.
I want to say something to Bang. Bang's not here, but stadium is closed. Somebody from Baltimore who went to DC a lot in my childhood years, stadium was a great place, but that's neither here nor there.
I've heard good things about stadium.
If I may, before we pivot real quick, I have to say, oh my God, it brings my soul so much joy. Dan Snyder has to be fucking shitting.
Oh, he is hot.
Did you read the article?
You hear about the report? Yeah, he's hot.
What article?
Oh, there's an article where he left America.
Yeah,
he's got a couple of lawsuits. America? Yeah, he's got a couple of lawsuits he's got to clean up. But he lives in London now. He said it makes him sick to his stomach to see how good they are. He didn't want to go. So the day to give the keys, he didn't want to give anything back. He basically just like, nah, it's still my team. It's like, nah, dude, you lost. Let it go.
I could not hide my smile. Allah's pleased.
Yeah. That nigga was hot about it. Tosin, when you say what was closed, we can hear Bang. What's closed?
Oh, Bang. Stadium's been closed like years now, my brother.
I know. I'm just saying. It closed. I heard it closed after I left.
Yeah. Shout out to Rose Bar too. There's been times
Rose Bar.
Everybody who's around my age knows we all got a John Wall story. So shout out to Rose Bar.
Yes, everybody got a John Wall story at Rose Bar, fam.
He got his jersey up there, man.
He got his jersey up there.
We're going to spend these last, I'll say 5-10 minutes on these coaches real quick about different hirings that happen in the NFL, man. We got to start off with the Dallas Cowboys, man, because I don't know what the fuck these niggas are doing. Today, Jerry Jones introduced Brian Schottenheimer. Yeah, that is the son of Marty Schottenheimer, NFL coaching legend. Will be the new head coach. He was the offensive coordinator for them. A lot of people didn't think this was going to happen. They don't know where it came from, especially with the Dion noise and things like that. But Mr. Jerry Jones had enough of people like us questioning him, man. So we're going to play this clip from the press conference today.
I have a penchant for risk-taking. If you really knew my score sheet, you would see that I've taken more risk in the last 5 years than the rest of my life put together. And sometimes I don't know when I look in that mirror why the risk is taken. With it there, let me say this. It was a huge risk to get involved with the Dallas Cowboys. Huge. And a lot of people that quote unquote didn't understand or feel like it could be done. I spent a nice part, Tim Calishaw, you'll remember it. I spent a nice part of my early 4 or 5 years with the Dallas Cowboys defending why not Coach Landry and defending why Jimmy would make a good coach. I think one time I said he's worth 5 Heisman trophies. to be a good coach. Did I know? No, but I knew Jimmy. Okay, had I interviewed countless thousands of coaches? No, not at all. So what I'm here to tell you is this was a thorough.
Thorough.
Hey, that nigga look embalmed, nigga. What's going on?
He still got the Jim Crow era accent on him.
He do. Like he say, like he don't even say nigga, he say niggers.
Yeah, he's the niggers.
Niggers. Courtney, you out there in Dallas. Tell me what the people thinking about out there with this new hiring.
Yeah, I mean, it's just pretty uninspiring, right? Jerry's a fucking egomaniac. We know that. That's funny, Alex. No, but he's a fucking egomaniac. And again, who cares about winning? If you're printing money, regardless, fans still show up and buy tickets to the games and line his pockets, even though he hasn't really done anything as of late to deserve that. And it's Colin Cowherd, I think, is the one who said it. It's really, and I'm not a Cowboys fan, fuck the Cowboys, but it's really sad to witness the dissolution of a great American institution. Say what you want. That's America's team, right? Not my team, but that's America's team. So just watching this fucking narcissistic egomaniac literally just, bro, you had every opportunity to hire any coach and you said, you know what, let's run it back with our OC. And you wonder why people question your judgment and your ability to do this fucking job. Bro sucks. Honestly, let's wrap that up.
I'll just say this.
Yeah, I can't say it on here. Let me stop.
I'll just say this. We're going to the next one, man. Every team has been to the NFC Championship except for them niggas. Like it's just nigga. If the Bears have been there, you know what?
Hold on, Scott. I'm gonna shoot Jerry some bail.
Okay.
Just hear me out.
I'm listening.
Because the football guys got a weird way. Football guys got a weird way of seeing some shit like this and saying, "Oh, what is Marty Schottenheimer famous for? Being one of the best coaches to never make the Super Bowl." Just go look at them Cleveland Browns teams in the 80s. They should have went to 2 Super Bowls. But John Elway was like, I'm going to do a drive, and Ernest Binder, you're going to fumble. It would be wild as hell that out of all people, God shined his light on Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, and they make it to the NFC Championship next season. Because Marty Schottenheimer has dealt with the shit with the Browns. He used to have good teams with the Chiefs. Now look at the Chiefs. They Super Bowl champions. He had that one season with the Chargers. I think they went 14-2. They had a good season. Then he got fired afterwards. He went to the Redskins and had to deal with Dan Snyder. It would be the football gods who would say the Schottenheimer name needs some love behind it. His son is going to coach the Dallas Cowboys, and they actually going to be good. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but stranger things have happened.
I got some bad news for you. The football gods do not smile on Jerry Jones. Absolutely not. They saw him standing outside that segregated school, okay, and they said, absolutely not. You're never having anything nice. Absolutely.
They said out shall I, not inshallah. Out shall I. Nothing good happening for Jerry.
I'm just saying, stranger things have happened.
I think I agree with you, Bang, because we don't know how any of these coaches are going to be.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
Any new, I'm not betting my money on it.
Yeah.
But I thought being a Bears fan is bad. But you know what's funny? Actually, no, I can relate to the Cowboys. You know who is the basketball Cowboys? The Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get to them niggas on the local hour. I got a rank.
And look, remember when Matt LaFleur got hired? We was laughing. We was laughing and shit.
Yeah, we was laughing.
We was laughing. Matt LaFleur was in the Titans sucking it up with Ryan Tannehill. Kicking our ass ever since.
I believe Matt LaFleur would sell Jordan Love to the Taliban if he knew he'd get away with it. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. There's two real things, man. We're gonna bring in our homie Chuck Inglish in just a minute. But Pete Carroll just got announced as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Has a press conference today with their new general manager, Spytek. What's his first last name?
John Spytek, yeah.
Spytek. Tom Brady was not there today. As much dick eating we heard about him for the last couple weeks with the Raiders, he wasn't there today. Mark Davis was there with his bowl cut, saying that we never even had a chance with Ben Johnson. We know his agent told us, but he went out there. He said that they're not trying to rebuild. This is a win now situation. They have a plan to get a quarterback, which means they're gonna spend money on probably like a vet, because I don't see
Sam Darnold. Here we come.
Yeah, I don't see Shador getting past pick 3. I think Shador's going to the Giants. But Bane, what you think about Pete Carroll's press conference today?
I think Pete Carroll did everything he was supposed to do to make Raiders fans go, maybe we got something. But then they're gonna look at that roster and be like, what the fuck? And hope that Pete Carroll is the coach that he is. Super Bowl winning coach that he is. That team is just bare, though. They don't have good skill positions at all. Their offensive line is out of whack. All they got is Max Crosby. Yeah, they could go spend some money on a Sam Darnold, because I know there's rumors out there that saying, you know, hey, him and Russell cool again. They friends again. But I'll ask you all a question. In 2025, you rather have Russell Wilson or Sam Darnold? Who would have ever thought that question to be asked?
I'd rather jump off a building. That's
what
I
was gonna say. I would rather Bane come blow up the fucking stadium.
Yeah, exactly my point. When you could spend top dollar for Sam Darnold because the year that he had, or get a little bit of cheap and get the homie back and Russell Wilson, because the Pittsburgh Steelers ownership did say that they want to resign one of those quarterbacks.
It's probably going to be Justin.
Justin, and go draft another quarterback. Like, look, Russell don't have that many options. With him not having that many options, the Raiders seem like to be a fit. But then you got Sam Darnold having the year that you had, like that he had. But either way it go, they're gonna be throwing the hood. A Jacoby Myers, other than Brock Bowers, you throwing it to Jacoby Myers? Who's gonna block it? Running back situation. It's a terrible situation. If I was Pete Carroll, I would have been like, nah, fuck this shit.
Well, Pete Carroll,
I'm 73. I ain't got to deal with this shit.
I think Pete Carroll's just desperate to coach, and he just got tired of doing whatever
he should have took his ass to fucking New Mexico State or some shit instead of going to the goddamn Raiders.
New Mexico State is crazy.
Hey,
one last thing, we gonna wrap this up. Aaron Glenn was announced
a football team.
No, nigga.
What you say?
They said they were trying to raise funds.
Imagine Pete Carroll going to 95th, going to Pete Carroll going to that Popeyes across the street. Hey, we saw folks over there. Carroll.
Pete Carroll and Simeon recruiting players.
Pete Carroll going to Doc's, nigga, for a fish sandwich.
Imagine Pete Carroll playing spades with some.
That's hilarious.
He throwing up the VL.
Hey, over there. Hey, I'm mad this nigga. Chicago State is a college in the hood. I'm trying to imagine Pete Carroll parking his car over there. Oh, that's a hilarious visual, dog. But anyway, Aaron Glenn announced today, said he's gonna be meeting with Aaron Rodgers soon. Tosin, take us out of here with this one, man. Do you think that Aaron Glenn should bring Aaron Rodgers back, or should they move on?
I think Aaron Glenn is going to be looking for a job in a year. So that's all I got.
I hope not, but you are probably correct. He's gonna be unemployed in 2 years. He's gonna be back in Detroit when their defensive line coach gets fired.
And he's not gonna be coaching the Lions. He's just gonna be in Detroit.
He's just gonna be in Detroit. Oh man. So Courtney, we gonna holler at you in like an hour. We gonna gotta talk some baseball. Tosin, man, anything you want to promote before we get you up out of here?
Nah, man, just follow Shirtless Plantain Show everywhere. Y'all be easy. Be good to yourselves. I'm out. Everyone take it easy. Peace.
Yes, sir. We'll be right back in 1 minute. We got the homie Chuck Inglish on the other side, man. We'll be right back.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
We are back. Bang. I'm going to have that visual of Pete Carroll walking down 95th, trying to get in Chicago State for a very long time. For a very long time, man. But let's bring in our first guest of the evening, man. We got the one and only Chuck Inglish in the house, man. If you don't know this, man, I don't know what planet you on, man. One half of the legendary Cool Kids, man, friend of the program. You can follow him at Chuck is Dope on Twitter. Chuck, how you feeling, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm hanging in there.
Good, man.
I know-
Everything good
y'all-
out there?
Yeah, we smooth now.
Good.
It
Good
was
to hear that.
it was a wild way to start the new year, but we on deck.
Definitely glad that everything's going on, man. What was you saying before I cut you off?
No, I said I know y'all feeling good.
Well, I'm feeling good. I'm back to. I gave myself a week to enjoy the hire, but now, like I said, I'm back on Ryan Poles' ass. We need to get some offensive linemen. We need to see what we're gonna do in free agency.
Pause though, fam.
Things
That
like
was
that.
crazy. Man.
That was Paul. That was
That
my
was
fault. That was definitely Paul's. That was definitely Paul's worthy. 100%. But Chuck, man, before we get into the Lions and stuff, man, any thoughts on this Super Bowl matchup we got coming in a couple weeks?
I mean, there's the truth, and then there's what actually is happening. I'm not the biggest fan of just watching another installment of the same movie over again.
Mhm.
So it's like if I seen Die Hard, right? I'm not really too hyped to see on Die Hard 3. You know, I don't give a fuck who got to get their shit back. I felt like that too when the Warriors and the Cavs was going back and forth. It's like I kind of like just different temperatures.
Right.
But for the sake of the sport, it's like the two teams that are the best are playing. So I can't never be mad at that. You know, like I don't want no fluke ass team getting in there and then getting stumped on, kind of like the 2013 Super Bowl where it was like damn near 41-0 at halftime. You know what I mean? Like I don't need that. I'd rather watch a game. So I'm not mad at the Super Bowl. I'm not mad at it. I just, I kind of wanted to see some new flavors in there, but niggas didn't show up. You know, the teams that were supposed to show up didn't show up. So we can't be mad at that.
Definitely. I think that, for me, I think it'll be a good matchup. I did want to see something new for sure, but it's just these two teams been running their conferences the last couple of years, man. I mean, personally, I'm more excited for the Kendrick Lamar halftime show than I am.
I think everybody else is, but I will say, they don't got the aerial attack that increases the ratings. But Saquon getting loose, how he gets loose, it's almost like an anomaly to me, and it kind of reminds me of the Dallas Cowboys Emmitt Smith situation. You know what I mean? Like you got like two big ass refrigerators creating a hole. Saquon know how to, you know what I mean? He's got great vision. That's why he was great at Penn State. He only needs like one cut, and it's up. Now, on my side, I feel like watching Jahmyr Gibbs, it's just a little bit more entertaining because of the quick cuts, the stop and go speed, kind of like how Barry had. You know what I mean? But watching Saquon break them shits off, it reminds me of like watching football when I was a kid. It wasn't too much of an aerial attack. Right. It might be something streaking down the sideline, maybe a Jerry Rice route, but it wasn't like big time shit that you've seen probably the last 6-7 years. And I kind of think that that's why the teams that ended up not making it to the Super Bowl, the football started off as a running sport. If you could run and you can control the goddamn down, if every time you on second down it's 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4, it makes it hard to lose. So
And Jahmyr Gibbs reminds me of you remind me of Alvin Kamara on steroids. Is what I think I would compare Jahmyr Gibbs to, man. Let's talk about the Lions, man. You guys lost to the Commanders 10 days ago. There's been a lot of different takes from Detroit sports fans. I follow a lot of my family from Detroit. It was actually funny. I was actually with my uncle when the Ben Johnson thing got announced. And there's a lot of people who a lot of the blame has been shifted a lot of ways on who is the reason for the loss. How would you see it? I know a lot of y'all. In fact, I had the Lions in the Super Bowl. Thought this was gonna be a long run. Who would you to blame if anybody is the sole blame for how that happened?
Let me break it down to you. I feel like that's why, my sports takes get a little bit of a respect. Now, in that particular game, you got to think momentum, right? You gotta take into account that teams that didn't get home field advantage might just be on tilt a little bit. The Lions ain't never make it to the playoffs and ever have a bye ever. Like since my daddy been alive, that ain't never happened. What I will say is we was already just damaged on defense. It was like having one leg and one arm, and they both on the opposite side. You really couldn't pull off no magic tricks if you wanted. I do think that being that kind of temperamental, you take something like a Meek Robinson arm blowing up, and all the guys knowing that he's a special energy source, especially on a beat up defense. I was at a Lions bar that's in Silver Lake, and when a Meek Robinson arm blew out, bro, that shit went from we was hyped to god damn, dog. Like, what the fuck else can happen? And if you know sports, if you play sports, it's almost like when Derrick Rose went down. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck was the team going to do after that? Because we still human beings. So no matter how much of a professional athlete you are, that whole secondary seeing bro go out, I feel like that killed a little bit of momentum. I think that the Commanders was prepared for us to run, and then we tried to throw it, and it just wasn't the call. And I explained to you, like, I know it sounded like all of Detroit was on Ben Johnson's head, but the details of it is this. Like, you ain't never called no game like that, first of all. Jahmyr only had 14 carries, but when the game started, you had Demo out there. So it's all these different things where it's like, bro, is your head in the game? And why the fuck you got Jameson Williams throwing a pass? It's all of these different things where we were like, bro, come on, dog. And then for it to be 2 days later and you already knew where you was gonna go, and you on TV talking about, oh, I couldn't wait to be here. We was just like, nigga, what if we would have won? How the fuck you was gonna do that? So we not on his head because y'all got him. We got on his head because it's like, nigga, you was too ready to go. You wasn't paying attention. And so that's why when Aaron Glenn got his job, you saw everybody was hyped. We was just like, yeah, go about your business, big dog. Like, you did right by us. And you made gold out of shit pretty much the whole season. We had 16 niggas on IR. And then our biggest star then cracked his leg open. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot of different details that went into that. Because we was like, hey, bro, how you call the worst game of your life? And then you already just, you know what I'm saying? Oh,
here's my question. Here's my question for you, because I think that a lot of offensive coordinators, I think that playoffs in general is who's going to tweak less. And we see a lot of offensive coordinators who be tweaking off. Even somebody as great as Matt LaFleur, who we just brought up.
Joe Brady just tweaked the fuck off.
Joe Brady. Kyle Shanahan tweaks at the wrong place. I think, Ben didn't call his best game, but Jared Goff threw 4 interceptions.
Jared Goff threw 4 interceptions because they was going. I saw how, I know how Washington was setting up the shit. You know what I mean? They was like, if somebody gonna beat us, it ain't gonna be Jared Goff. You know what I'm saying? We get him out of the shit, but we in 3rd and 1. You gonna go empty backfield, brother? Like, why'd you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just watched Saquon Barkley stomp motherfucking wine grapes out of the goddamn who was them? The Commanders defense.
Yeah.
You know, we had the same options. We ain't throwing space and none of that shit. It just was a bad game called by someone that was highly decorated. And it just seemed like you had already had your family moved over there. Y'all already making plans to do y'all press conference. And it's like, dog, did you just want the season to be over so you could get about your business? Or was you really invested? And I think it's the latter. And that's why niggas was on his head. Because it's like, bro, you know what I'm saying? At least be over here till you over there. Don't be in two spots at one time. And you know, I'm actually, you know, once I think everybody in Detroit, once we saw Ben Johnson's presser, it was just like, all right, we get it, bro. You know what I mean? Like him and Amon-Ra had this exchange where Amon-Ra and his brother got this podcast.
Yeah, I saw that.
I guess he told Sun Guy, like, if I'm gonna be the best, then I gotta beat the best and be where I know I'm at. I understand his, you know, seeing Caleb and being like, dog, do you know what I could do with that? You know how I could do with that?
Right.
My thing is just like, bro, I lived in Chicago for 15, 16 years, nigga. Do you know how they treat people over there sports-wise? Do you understand, nigga? They aren't happy to be here. They own your motherfucking noggin for everything. Now, this is how I know. I was like, bro, that nigga Ben Johnson not ready for this shit. I remember when me and Mikey used to live downtown across from Grand Park, and it was the first game that Jay Cutler was playing for Chicago. And we just had sports radio on, like, through the ride from the airport. Bro, they was in that nigga eyeballs, bro.
Well, to be fair, he threw 5 interceptions like against the Packers.
That's what I'm saying is
that's not how you start off your career.
It ain't been a coach. I still think this. Y'all got to do right by Lovie Smith before y'all luck get back together.
Bang, I'm gonna let you take this. I'm tired of the Lovie Smith shit.
Nah, you can't be tired of it.
So look, I get it. I get all of the last game Ben Johnson stuff, but you had went on social and basically was like, yo, he not gonna be as good as y'all think he is coming over here. So why do
I don't think he's a head coach at all.
Yeah, so why do you think he's not? Why do you think he is not a head coach and won't be successful?
Because I think when you see him and you hear about, you know, players talk or just post-game pressers, you know, he's obsessed with being a play caller. That's his only responsibility. He is really good at that. Do you know how many play callers get the head coaching position and fizzle the fuck out? Like
there's some, but there's a lot who haven't.
Cliff Kingsbury, wasn't he a coach? Wasn't he a head coach at once?
Yeah, he's first, but Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay. Sean McVay he's an anomaly a little bit because he seems a little bit off and kind of that Kyle
crazy.
Shanahan.
But Sean McVay is loud. You know, like he knows how to command that attention from people. When you are soft-spoken, you don't get the same, you know what I mean? You don't get the same reaction out of your players. Now, just because y'all division rivals, yeah, I'm a little biased. But when I take out and I'm thinking with common sense, yes, the X's and O's on offense is something y'all needed. It ain't been an offensive game plan over there since I don't know when.
That's another one. Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell was a good one. Go ahead.
Kevin O'Connell's a good one, but they're a little bit more energetic. You know what I'm saying? Ben Johnson ain't never ran down the sideline. You ain't even seen his fist pump up. Like he'll call a crazy ass play. We scored a touchdown and he's even keeled. Even keeled is good for play calling. It's great for play calling. But like Andy Reid,
I hear what you're saying. I just feel like Andy Reid. That's another. Andy Reid Andy Reid never moves. Like you never see Andy Reid. So like, is there anything game plan wise? And of course, yeah, I've said this even before we hired Ben that we don't know how this is gonna turn out. He could be a bust, but at least if you're gonna go down, I said the same thing with Caleb last year. Let's just say this whole thing fails, right? Let's just say Caleb isn't what we thought he was. Ben's not what we thought he was. I can live with that because at least you went for the top targets. The Bears never do that. Like even as great as I'm not a Lovie Smith lover like everybody else. Like this fan base treats him like he was Jimmy Johnson. Like
he got a Super Bowl with Rex Grossman,
and that's awesome. But if we're looking at a full time in 8 years, you made the playoffs 3 times. That's cool. I don't blame him for them reason they lose a Super Bowl. I blame Rex Grossman for them losing that Super Bowl. I can still see that interception in the rain to Kelvin Hayden like it happened yesterday. But I feel like at least with Ben, if it fails, at least you went to go get the guy and actually paid him. That never happens with the Chicago Bears.
I get y'all stance, and it's like I said, I'm biased. You know what I mean? Like
which I love, by the way. I always say I have no problem with Lions fans saying he's our enemy now. That I have no issue with because it's a division rivalry, and not you specifically, but I saw some fans. I just don't agree with the Ben already picked the job. He's like, I'm finna screw this up for the Lions because if y'all would have went to Super Bowl, he gets more money. If you guys actually go to Super Bowl and win,
what I think was just. I don't think there's no way he intentionally because there's no benefit in that. Like there's no benefit. And what I'm saying is I don't believe everybody's not a multitasker, man. Like especially if you are like high level performance at one thing, usually the thing that you do second best comes in third or fourth best. You know what I mean? Like when you are focused and you are savant at one thing, being kind of good at another thing makes the super talent, kind of peel off a little bit. I think that Ben just thought that we could game our way out of that shit. And we almost could have. There was a couple times where it was like, we don't fuck up. We don't have penalties. We don't got 12 niggas on the field. And
that's why I think the hate should go to Jared Goff. Because
it did. It did. Don't think it didn't.
That I think that what swung the game, in my opinion, was you guys cut it down to 10 right before halftime, and he threw that pass in the end zone for interception. To me, that's where it kind of turned. And we saw with the Commanders last week. I mean, with you guys last week, Commanders last night. If you turn the ball over 3-4 more times, you're not gonna win. So, but here's my other question for you, man. I got two more questions for you. One, what do you feel about the other assistants who left? We've got Antoine Randall is going to be coming over.
I get
Jason
that.
Barrett, he's coming over as well.
I get both of those only because Antoine Randall he want to be you know what I'm saying? He had an opportunity to go home.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? JT Barrett, they probably all worked so close together that it makes sense. And you think about how Dan Campbell lifts up people that he ain't take no newbies in. He been building up what he's got, and now they can go off on their own. I already like our replacement hires. You know what I mean? Like Shepard being that he gonna get more out of everybody than Glenn did because all of our linebackers from Jack Campbell to Rodrigo to Alex, you know what I mean? Like that's his character put on.
Right.
And if you watched Hard Knocks, bro, be talking to them niggas crazy. But like gets the respect that you need that makes you not want to make another mistake.
I need HBO to keep Hard Knocks on it. They be deleting Hard Knocks after the season.
They gotta do what they did this season with the AFC North.
Do the NFC North next year.
Yeah. Because the NFC North is gonna be pretty much what the AFC North was for the past 10 years, where we always gonna be dueling. It's going to be Green Bay, us, y'all, or the Vikings, like at any given time, and that's never happened. Now, do I think the Vikings might blow it? Yes. I don't think 100%. They know how to. I don't know if they know how to. I don't know if they know how to be successful, bro. Like, I just don't think.
It's just the Sam Darnold thing we saw towards the end of the season that he still is Sam Darnold, and not that. I really like Kevin McConnell, so I'm not saying what he can or can't do with JJ McCarthy, but he's already had 2 surgeries before he hit the field. So that's my kind of question. So my thing with JJ,
and I'm a huge JJ fan. Like, I believe in him as much as you know what I mean. I watched him dumb his game down to win. You know what I mean? I watched him not feel like airing it out, but knowing that he's got one of the most perfect balls you could throw. But he's elusive. He makes great decisions, and you can't frazzle him. Like, the dude could sit and fucking fumble the ball off the snap, pick the fumble, like in the Rose Bowl. Pick that shit up, getting chased around, and throws I hope this goes ball to Roman Wilson, which pretty much put us in the lead of that game. When I see quarterbacks, it's just like, what happens if it don't go your way? Like, how good of a quarterback are you?
How you gonna bounce back from that?
Yeah, I like that about Caleb too. And then him kind of restructuring his game to be a little bit more professional, where You know, I hate this shit because this should be like racist undercoated, where they be telling, oh,
100%.
he's not a pocket. Like, why the fuck you want to
100%.
keep somebody in between some fat niggas that not gonna even let you, like, you gonna get that
Move
man
around.
killed just trying to prove that you not elusive.
Yeah.
So it's like, I like that he figured out how to be elusive inside the pocket.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of, you know, we got a talented division as far as quarterbacks go. I do
So,
think you know, like per you saying, I do think Jared Goff had a little fart in his brain that game. He only had 2 this season. You know, 2 out of 17.
It's kind of like the Lamar Jackson thing. Lamar threw 4 picks all season, then threw 1 against Buffalo. Like, but my final question for you is: are you expecting a regression next year because you lost both coordinators? We saw what happened with the Eagles not this year, the year before they lost both of their guys and they didn't make the playoffs. What are you expecting from the Lions next year?
I think the coaches are accents, but we not letting players go. You know what I mean? Like, Sheila got the money, and that was her goal. Like, she wants it to be a championship city. Like, all right, we make it to the NFC Championship last year. We get first round bye this year. It has to be sustained. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of come downs from making it to the Super Bowl. Now we're watching a special situation with the Chiefs, but when they dynasty in, it's gonna feel like the Patriots.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to sustain that shit when you're not thinking about the most important things, which is the players. And now we've taken our own homegrown ones and we built them up. People don't understand what it's like to play in Detroit when Detroit fans are happy. And we appreciate shit because we ain't really had shit besides baseball and basketball and hockey. We ain't never really had shit. But Detroit is a football city. Like, no matter which way you want to spend it, it's a football city. And when the Lions are winning, that morale is bringing a lot of good energy to what's going on. I think more or less than a Super Bowl aspiration, keeping the team as competitive and elite as possible it's kind of all I care about. Because what if we crashed out and won this year? Now you lose all the coaches. Now it's, you know what I mean? Like, people looking for different ways to go. We missing key things. Like, you know, if you're not a Lions fan, you don't see how important Tim Patrick is. You don't see how important Craig Reynolds is. You don't see how important all of these new rookies we brought in are. And when you start taking your focus off what the player and the player developments are, you're gonna have them fall off. And I ain't gonna lie, it sounds fucked up, but I'd rather be like you know how that sustained success the Steelers had. You know, I don't want to wake up and my team not be good. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't ever want to go back to that.
Tell
And it's
Steelers
almost
fans
like
that they want to kick Tomlin out.
That's not. They don't keep their players. That's the problem. And they don't focus on offense. They don't have no returning offense. And ever since Antonio Brown and Roethlisberger left, there is no dynamic. You know, y'all just been fitting shit in and still win. Now imagine if y'all drafted a quarterback for real. You know what I'm saying? You don't not pay a Le'Veon Bell when he had it. Why would you not do that?
Well, Le'Veon, look, we see he got early stages of CTE, but
so everybody over there. But you got to understand, you had that type of success, and then you don't get compensated for it. You might go crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, you might lose your motherfucking mind, and it's like I watched that happen with a lot of Cowboys. I watched that happen with a lot of Steelers. You know what I'm saying? But it's like everybody been over there. Everybody at the Chiefs still over there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I get what you're saying for sure. Like, as far as like how the team building is, man. I know we got to bounce. You know, we can talk to you all day, bro. But definitely looking forward to these games. Oh, I got the Chiefs. Like, I'm not picking against 15. I'm just not doing it. If they lose, they lose. I'm not gonna be the one picking against them, man.
I mean, I would just hedge my bet, because you got to think about the Kansas City ain't played a defense like that. They don't.
I mean, probably not, but it's just Patrick Mahomes. Like, to me, all stats go out the window when you got to beat him, because outside of Brady, nobody's done it, man. That's just pretty much why I met it, man. But
Yeah,
you got to get up.
that's. Yeah,
I know
I was gonna say.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. Yeah, we gonna continue this. I'm not betting against Pat Mahomes, but he has a bad game and it's smoked.
We'll see. He ain't this been that season. Nigga still ain't beat him. So we gonna see how that's gonna go, man. But definitely look forward to both games next year with the Lions and Bears for sure. I'm pretty sure one of them gonna be on Sunday Night Football, man. But anything you wanna promote before we get you up out of here?
Nah, man, I'm just happy to be here at this point. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just keeping a smile on my face and doing everything I can, my man.
Definitely, Chuck. Appreciate you, bro. We gonna holler at you next time.
All right, brother.
Yes, sir. Bang gets a 30-minute break as we're about to bring Pat Vito in. Bang a return for the local hour in just a second, man. So let's bring in my boy Pat Vito, man. You can follow him at Pavy World on all social media platforms, man. This is Weekend Association. By the way, I'm producing by myself right now because the kid had to leave early, so I'm looking for the fucking. Oh, there we go. All right, Weekend in the association with Pav, man. Pav, how you feeling, brother?
Chilling, bro. I can't complain.
Sorry for the time mix-up. We make sure we get everything right over here, man. But we gotta move our attention to the NBA. We got one more football game left, so we got to get to basketball, man. A lot of things going on. I got a whole bunch of topics I want to go over with you, man. But I think we got to start with today's news that happened right before we came on air, and that is the Miami Heat suspended Jimmy Butler like the third time in 3 weeks now. They're saying it's indefinite. I guess he walked out of practice when they told him he's going to be coming off the bench. And now they're saying it's going to be no less than 5 games. So how long? No, who knows how long this is going to be? We got 9 days before the trade deadline comes up. If he gets traded, it's probably going to be to Phoenix, man. But what you think about this situation with Jimmy and just everything that's been going on with it?
I mean, the whole thing is just nasty, but I think it's something that started last year, actually. In the press conference when Pat Riley said, well, maybe if you would have played XYZ amount of games, we wouldn't be the AFC. So it's something that started last year. And I mean, it's just the nature of business in the league. I mean, Jimmy, what is he, 36 years old now? Jimmy Butler's 36 years old.
I think he's younger than me. He around that, yeah. No,
Jimmy was born in the 80s, bro.
We probably like a year or two. Let me look it up. Go ahead.
Jimmy is not a young guy. He wants, a deal that he wants a bigger deal.
You're right. He's 35. He's born in
36 years, 35, 36 years old, right? He wants a bigger deal. Also, it may be a thing where he may be looking to move in a different direction. Like, they had a great, 4 or 5 year run. Bro, you got 2 finals appearances. You been in the playoffs. You got 2 finals appearances. You got a conference finals. 3 conference finals, 2 finals appearances. It's a great run. It's just the end of this run. I think they're trying to move into a new iteration of their franchise. I think the problem with trading Jimmy is it would be an easier thing if these new cap rules hadn't came in, because you got to max salaries and it's not many teams that can trade for him. And also Miami has to want to accept the players that the other people want to give them. Even if it's oh, you have to trade Jimmy. Do we have to trade Jimmy? Do we actually have to trade Jimmy? We could, you even saw, in the offseason where the Clippers let PG walk. They could just let Jimmy walk and just take the cap money. Jimmy could also opt in and drag this thing. Even I don't think he would drag it on some more, but I think this is probably
Jimmy might be petty enough.
He might just opt in, drag it out some more, and also it's probably easier to trade him in the offseason than it is to trade for him right now. And then even because opting out of free agency, if you look at the people who have money next year, it's like the Nets. Really is I don't know what Jimmy's goals are. I don't know if winning is his goal at this point. He may just want to go to a good city and, get Big Face Coffee completely off the ground. So I don't know what Jimmy Butler's goals are, but I think the whole thing is just messy and it's unfortunate, but it's just the nature of business in the league. So yeah.
I think you got 2 stubborn people going head to head right now. That's Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley. Jimmy Butler's like, nigga, this is a new era. If I want to go somewhere, I want to go somewhere. Which I have never always really been a fan. I know I'm kind of old school with that. Not that I say that I don't have a problem with player empowerment. I just believe that if you sign a contract, my nigga, I don't think what's the point of a contract? You can just decide you don't want to be there no more. Like that to me is the issue I have, and I just don't feel like Jimmy is going about it in the best way. And what we see is big with Jimmy Butler fan as I am, he does this at every spot. Every spot he does this. And so it's just kind of like it gets to an old act to the point where like Jimmy, you're part of the reason why your team can't get over the hump because you play when you decide you want to play. And that's the issue I have with that. And you got Pat Riley, who as much success as he's had, he is the Miami Heat. There is no Miami Heat without Pat Riley. And all the championship he won before he got to the Heat, he's like, I'm not going to let this nigga who ain't got no championship tell me how I need to run my organization. And he's probably very stubborn, which most older men are. So you got him at a clash right now where at this point, I feel like for both parties, they just need to find a way to facilitate a trade and get this over with. Because at this point, I'm tired of hearing about Jimmy Butler trade updates. And let him go to Phoenix. I don't even know why he want to go to Phoenix. Like that match don't make no sense to me either. So
he's better than Bradley Beal.
But you put Jimmy on this roster right now. Just take Bradley Beal off. You think they're doing any much better than what they are right now?
No, but he's better than Bradley Beal.
That's not saying much.
Phoenix is in fucking mode.
Yeah, they are. I didn't like the KD trade. I don't like nothing they doing out there in Phoenix. But let's go on to the All-Star game. All-Star game will be in about 2 weeks. Not 2 weeks, 3 weeks actually. 3 weeks. And so they just named the All-Star starters. Of course, this is a mix of things, mix of vote from the fans, media vote, and also coaches input on this. So let's go with the Eastern Conference starters. There's no captain this year because they're going to be doing it with 4 different teams. There's going to be 3 teams with general managers from Shaq's going to GM one team. Kenny Smith is going to do one. Charles Barkley is going to be one. Candace Parker is going to be one. She's going to be the GM of the team that wins the Rising Stars Challenge. And they're going to be 4 teams. It's going to be like a kind of a tournament style format because they're trying to switch things up with the All-Star game. So for the East, you got Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, and Karl-Anthony Towns. This is the first time that the Knicks have had 2 All-Star starters in like 40 years, something like that. On the Western Conference, Steph Curry is getting the legacy T-Mac Allen Iverson appearance for this.
It ain't that bad, G. It ain't that bad, bro.
Steph
it ain't
had
that
0
bad.
points in the second half.
It ain't that bad, bro.
I love Steph, but nigga, come on. Steph is up there, KD, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who in my opinion is an MVP, LeBron James for like the 22nd year in a row, and Nikola Jokic. What do you think about this voting? A lot of people felt that maybe Cade Cunningham could have been in here. And a lot of people think that that Steph Curry shouldn't have been on there. And what do you think about the starters and the new format? Like, what are you expecting from the All-Star game in a couple weeks?
As far as the starters, bro, I have no issue with the starter. People's like, oh, LaMelo Ball. Bro, LaMelo Ball should not be a starter in the All-Star game. I think that LaMelo should make the team. I think K should make the team. But starting, we've lost our mind. And the reason they changed the voting is because remember in the 2000s when Yao Ming kept getting put over everybody because he had 1 billion people in China voting for him. Like, I don't have an issue with the All-Star starters on any team. Does Steph, like, if Luka was healthy, it would probably be Luka starting over Steph in the All-Star game in the backcourt. But Luka been dead for the past month. I don't have an issue with the starters. Like the young Wemby and all those guys will have their chances. They'll have their times. Even when people talking about LeBron starting, the Lakers are 5th in the conference. Yeah, they actually are 5th in the West. I know people don't realize it. And also, Bron is still giving you like 25, 8, and 8. I have no issue with the starters in either conference. I think it's perfect. As far as the format goes, I don't know. It may be fun, but my thing with just the All-Star game and just the whole thing in general is like, what are we doing, bro? Like the All-Star games that we grew up on, players just played because it was fun to play. Like they wanted to go out there and compete. We got to do all this to make them compete against each other. Like, what are we doing, bro? So, I mean,
I don't even think it's going to work, to be honest with you. Like, that's not going to change effort. Like, yeah, and I also don't like that we got to keep offering these niggas money. Like how much more money you need to play a game that you love?
Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? So, again, it may be cool, whatever, but at the same time, like, just the fact that we got to do all this to make y'all play a good pickup game is kind of insane to me, but whatever.
Yeah, it's beyond insane. Like, even if I look like, and the worst part is I don't have a fix for it. I think that all All-Star games, for the most part, are cooked. Like, baseball is probably the only one that's not cooked, but even then, it's just kind of like we know they're not going to be running that hard to first base. Niggas ain't trying to get actual base hits. Everybody just trying to be home run happy because it's All-Star game. So I just feel like All-Stars games in general aren't what they used to be, and they're not going to be going forward. And I don't think that's changing formats, putting more money on the line is going to help anything. I think that this might be the year where it might look competitive, but long term, you can't force people to play harder. For them, they look at this as like a little time off, or or something they have to do before they go on a couple-day vacation before the stretch run of the season starts. And so that's just how I kind of look at it. The starters are what they are. Like, it's the people who they want to see. I don't have a problem with people being on there. People want to see Steph Curry. People want to see Kevin Durant and LeBron. We don't know how many All-Star games they're all going to have together. We all know that they've been throwing these people on national TV. If I got to see the Phoenix Suns on national TV one more time, stop putting the Warriors on national TV. Like you said, at least the Lakers are the 5th seed. But the Warriors stink, bro. Like, and it's like what you said months ago, that their little 10-2 start was cute. That feels like years ago compared to what they are right now. And that's the perfect segue to my next thing. What is Steph Curry government? Steph Curry's 36 years old. Not playing as bad, not playing as good as he used to, but he wants to still play competitive basketball. They're not going to be doing that with this team. I don't feel like they have the young assets to make this team good. What do you think Steph Curry should do?
Steph Curry is going to retirement, and he's going to a statue in front of the Chase Center. That's what Steph Curry is going to do. There are no other options for remember Kobe's last years? This is what this shit about to look like.
Oh yeah.
Just why I'm sorry, like what people, they could trade for Jimmy Butler and they could trade for Vucevic. That's not gonna make you win the championship. Like, there's no move that I foresee that can make them win a championship. I mean, I guess maybe the only thing that you could have done is back in the day when you had that number 2 pick with Wiseman. Like, I guess maybe you could have like tried to trade that and get a guy then, but I don't really see, for instance, like what they can do. I mean, Kuminga, I like Kuminga. I don't think Kuminga is, the type of player that you need to put you over the hump. And also with Steph, I mean, if you watch Steph play, he's not the same, but he's not the same because he's nowhere near as quick. Like, when Steph shot a shot, it used to be, I'm like, damn, that's going to go in. I had a certain feeling in my chest it was going to go in. Now I'd be like, hell no. I'd be like, hell no, hell no. That's not. So it's just, but they had a great, incredible run, yo. Everybody comes to an end at some point. It happens to everyone. They had a great run, but I don't really foresee anything that they can really do. And even like making trades, like even if you do trade, like you do a Jimmy Butler trade, which I don't think they're gonna do, but if you do one, right, you got to give up Kuminga, Wiggins, and like 2-3 other pieces, and it's like, bro, it's hard. So yeah, Steph Curry is going towards a statue in front of the Chase Center. They're gonna run him out there for the rest of his career, and they're gonna sell tickets. That is what Steph Curry is heading to, selling tickets.
And so here's my question, because I said this, I brought this up last year, and I'm still standing for it. I think Steph Curry should ask for a trade. Like, if you really care about still competing, it's obviously not going to be in Golden State. So it's like, does he care more about being a lifelong Warrior, enjoying the Kobe, the Tim Duncan, and the Dirk Nowitzki, who are with one team their entire career, or does he care about winning more?
Yeah, but like, why though? Like, once you start getting traded around the league, anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? So like, why? I mean, granted, you won 4 championships, 2 MVPs, you're a top 10 player of all time. Once you start getting traded around the league and you don't know and you don't know the team, you don't know the people over there, like, every situation is not going to be the same as this situation. You have a team that's tailor-made to you. At least you get to go out there and hoop. You know what I'm saying? You ain't coming off the bench. The whole system is built around you. Like, bro, just stick it out. You probably maybe only got like 1-2 years left. You just won a gold medal. Ain't like you not playing. It's not like you not playing good basketball at all. Like, they still might be a play-in team. Maybe they have a chance to make the playoffs. So no, it's not like the bottom is completely falling out on this squad. Like, no, I don't think he should ask for a trade. You stay there, stick it out. And I think it does mean something to be a guy that's with one team your whole career. I think it genuinely does mean something, and like, it adds something else to your legacy when you do that.
The number one thing I hate as a Bulls fan is that Michael Jordan wore another uniform. Like, I try to block out, even though he played well for a 40-year-old and not LeBron 40-year-old. LeBron is
that shit don't make no sense.
But him and Tom Brady did past the age of 40.
It don't make sense.
That don't happen. Brady won an MVP at 41. Like, that type of shit don't happen. So like, them two niggas, whatever. But he played reasonably well for a 40-year-old. But I try to block out the 2 Wizards years. And Shaq, Phoenix, Miami, Boston.
Everything after
I forgot he played for Cleveland.
Everything after Ben Wallace blocked that man's shot. You know what block I'm talking about. That don't count as Shaquille O'Neal. That somebody different.
Yeah, and to the fact they make fun of him on like Shaq is a journeyman, my nigga. Like, you know,
we even like Melo after the Knicks, bro. It get nasty, bro. Melo after the Knicks. Who else?
Melo was a bull for a couple hours.
Like, come on, bro. Like, once you start going around the league, bro, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, Dame's Bucks jersey might look nasty in about 10 years. It might look like once you start getting traded around the league, bro, anything can happen because the grass isn't always
Atlanta
green.
Hawk jersey looks nasty.
Bro, Vince Carter has a Memphis Grizzlies jersey.
He does.
Vince Carter has a Sacramento Kings jersey.
Allen Iverson has a
Memphis Grizzlies. It get like something to tell you, it get nasty. Once you start going around the league, bro, the shit can get nasty. You know, let's say he asked for a trade for whatever reason, it don't work out there because they're not tailor-making the system around you no more. Then he get traded again. The next thing we look up and fucking Steph Curry is playing on the goddamn Hawks or some shit, and we're like, bro, what's going on?
Steph goes on and finishes his career in Charlotte
or something like that. I don't want to see a Steph Curry Charlotte Hornets jersey, but I do not want to see this, bro. And he wearing number 15 or some shit because he can't get 30. He wearing number 15 for Charlotte. I don't want to see this.
Bro, D Wade in Cleveland jersey.
Nasty.
Let's go to he said, I'm a KD fan. I still can't get a Phoenix jersey. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like Hakeem, that's a good one.
Hakeem on the Raptors.
Yeah, Magic on the super yeah.
Sean Kemp on the Magic. T-Mac got a couple of that. T-Mac has a Hawks jersey and a Pistons jersey and a Knicks jersey. T-Mac has a lot of nasty jerseys.
T-Mac was on the Knicks, bro.
T-Mac was on the Knicks, bro. Penny Hardaway has a Knicks jersey.
You know what's the funniest picture of T-Mac as a lifelong T-Mac hater? And by the way, my T-Mac hate is not rational. So if anybody asks me in the chat why I hate it, this is pure. I was 13 years old and everybody was talking about T-Mac over Kobe, and that's where my hate began. This is not anything to do with actual basketball facts. This is 13. I was 13 years old, and it kept going. Was the shot in 2013 what looked like the Spurs are going to win the championship? And T-Mac was so hype on that bench, and then Ray Allen said, "Not on my watch." That was one of the funniest things.
I still think if Manu gets subbed out for T-Mac, they win that series. He had an all-time.
That's one of your most asinine takes.
No, G. He had an all-time horrible series.
Niggas forget that Manu missed them free throws.
G, that it was that, and then one when he thought he got fouled, but he traveled his ass off even like before he got fouled. Tony Parker has a Charlotte Hornets jersey. Should have never happened.
Gary Payton has a Celtics jersey.
I don't even remember.
GP has a Celtic jersey. Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about Mr. LeBron Raymond James, man. So the Lakers, like you said, are 5th in the Western Conference right now. They're like barely over the Clippers, who have been solidly playing very well. They have the number 1 defense in the NBA right now. Kawhi's actually back playing. I have not been to Intuit Dome yet. I don't know if you have, but it looks like it's nice from on TV. So James Harden
be there though.
I mean, it's the Clippers, and it's in fucking Inglewood. Like who's driving out to Inglewood to watch the Clippers? And like I said, the first year would probably be cool, but after that, they will have a hard time filling that arena, nigga. Like at least being at Staples Center, you have it. It's the allure of being in LA Live. It's the Lakers building. If you ain't got nothing to do on a Tuesday, just go downtown. Niggas is not going out to Inglewood, my nigga. They're just not. They're just not doing it. But Lakers 25-18. They've won 3 in a row. They're 6-4 in their last 10. Big win over the Celtics on ABC. Not on TNT on Thursday. LeBron is playing well for somebody his age, even though you can tell that he's not the guy he used to be. Anthony Davis had a nice 20-minute interview with Shams on ESPN talking about that he wants Rob Pelinka and the Lakers management to make a move because he believes they're 1 or 2 pieces away from being as good as the team they won the 2020 bubble. And he also said that he's tired of hearing people talk about asterisks and that they're the only LA team who's won a championship recently to not have a parade. We know the Rams had a parade. The Dodgers just had their parade. They celebrated 2 championships because they won the same year the Lakers did. He wants to do that. I personally don't think there's a trade out there that's taking them to that level. And I think what the Jazz are asking for Walker Kessler is insane.
What are they asking for?
Two firsts. Come on, 2 firsts for him.
It's not. It's the reason it's not insane is because he is like I think 3rd in blocks, and he is like still on his rookie deal.
No, he's a good center, but 2 firsts is crazy.
It's really not insane.
2 is crazy.
They want 2 for Cam Johnson. I'd rather give you 2 for Walker Kessler.
I guess both of them is the same, but it's kind of like what Bob Myers said on NBA Today the other day. He said it's hard being a GM right now because there's so many different rules and the way that the cap is set up and things like that. In your opinion, do you think that they are a trade or two from being at least competitive and have a legit chance to win a championship?
Yeah, but I don't think the trade. Well, championship, no. Get that shit out of here. Championship, no. But do I think that this team could be a 2nd-round team, a conference finals team? Yeah, I do. But I don't think the deal is going out to make some huge swing. I don't think they need a center. AD, why do you not want to play center? You don't like playing center, bro. You can't even shoot, bro. Just play center. I don't understand. Just play center. You can't shoot. You're going to have a non-shooting, completely non-shooting front court. I don't understand. I get the point. You want somebody else there or whatever. But even if you do, I think the move for them is to go get, shout out me and my homie Glasses Malone. We was talking about this the other day. It's like, go get a Marcus Smart. I think what they need is like a defensive guard, right? And they keep wanting to add offensive piece. I fuck with the Walker Kessler thing because that's a defensive thing. But they keep wanting that people keep suggesting offensive pieces for the Lakers, and that's not even how they won their first championship. They won because of the defense. Look at the squad. You had Rondo, you had Danny Green, you had Dwight, you had JaVale, you had all these great defensive pieces. And then for whatever reason, Rob Kuminga committed treason and decided to just get rid of all the defense and go bring in Schroeder and who was it? Trez and bring Trez.
And now don't forget Russell Westbrook.
Like you want to trade away all your defensive pieces that helped you win and go for offense. So, like, yes, I do think that they can make a move, but to me, the move is like going and get like a defensive guard, maybe getting a Malcolm Brogdon, maybe getting a Marcus Smart. If you want more,
Lonzo Ball got floated out there. Lonzo's the name that got floated out.
Lonzo is fine. Go and get you a if you like want to send go get you a Robert Williams. The Blazers won't so much for like Robert Williams, but when it comes to like just trading all the other assets that we have, like, bro, I'm not trading you my 2031 pick. Why? So we can be god awful. You know how bad the Lakers are gonna be when Bron retires.
Yeah,
the only thing they do is
before they give Luka Doncic everything to try to come to.
The only thing they can do is try to trade AD and get some of the assets back. They're going to be terrible the second LeBron retires. So no, I don't think the move is selling, trading everything because I don't think that they need the things that people think that they need. And again,
that's a crazy comment. I don't even know why I showed that on the screen. That's a crazy comment.
And again, defenders don't cost as much as offensive players usually. So again, I think the things that they need are just add a couple of defensive pieces, mainly a defensive guard because they can't stop a thing. Can you imagine them trying to stop Shea?
Yeah, and that's the issue I have. And like I get what AD was saying about wanting to get a center because, like you just named, like they had some perimeter guards. You know, Avery Bradley was on that team as well, but it was Dwight and JaVale that really helped them win that series and win in the playoffs. But I just feel like the time has passed. Not for AD. I think AD is a top 10 player, but LeBron, as great as he is, we're comparing LeBron to other players who played his age. Like that's the issue. They're not beating. Like Oklahoma City will make a mockery of them. Like,
I don't want to say mockery. The reason I don't want to say that is because I do think that AD could have a lot of success against OKC's front line.
Okay, he can, but who's checking Shea? Like Alex Caruso, I love AC, man. He is going to be so impactful when the playoffs come. I'm telling you, if they get Chet back, it's gonna look nasty. It's gonna look like I really think they will wash them off the face of the earth. If the playoffs started right now, they still got to beat Denver, which we've seen the last 2 years. They just can't do. They just cannot do. And Denver started off real bad. They're playing much better basketball despite a terrible loss they had last week. Russell Westbrook has been great. I don't think they can beat them. I don't think they beat a healthy Dallas. They definitely not beating the Celtics or anybody else in the Eastern Conference, I feel. That's why I don't feel like there's a trade that can make it. And if I'm Rob Pelinka, no matter what Anthony Davis is saying, I'm not making a trade that's going to mortgage the future because we know that this is what it is. If I felt that giving up the 2029 or 2031 pick would get us a legit chance to get one, I might do it. But it's just that time is past for the Lakers, man. So let's go to who the legit contenders you think are. Like, we're not even at the halfway point now. We once All-Star break is over, we got like what 30 games left in the season. Who do you think right now are the legit contenders who you can see hoisting the Larry O'Brien Trophy in June?
Well, I could see Cleveland being a good squad. I can see Cleveland at least making a conference finals run. Reason being is because I think they do things that are obtuse to what other people do, right? You have, really good bigs. You do have 2 small guards, but you have 2 really good bigs. And I think they can just be opposite of other teams like Boston and New York, and that may bode well for them. Obviously, Boston's going to be right there. The Knicks, I'm believing in the Knicks. I think that the Knicks are a team that can guard everything Boston wants to do. And then I also think that Cat could take advantage of the Porzingis matchup. So I'm not gonna count out the Bucks because you still do have Giannis. And at the end with the Bucks, really, I've said this a few times. For the most part, the only thing that they were missing the past couple of years is health. Every time they healthy, they right there. So obviously, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I'm not gonna count the Bucks out because you have a top, 3 player in the West. I can't count out Denver. Denver has been playing much, much better. And I think that in the regular season, why they lose games is because, like, their tempo is very slow. But in the playoffs, when the game slows down, you still have probably the best player in the league. Jamal Murray catches the Holy Ghost. They're utilizing Russ much better. Aaron Gordon is back healthy. You see they've been winning games. So I would have to go Denver. The Thunder obviously are going to be right there. And then a sneaky team, a super, super sneaky team, depending upon matchup, I'm not going to hold you, is the Clippers. If Kawhi Leonard is alive and listen, hold on. Championship, no. I don't think they can win the championship. I do think if Kawhi Leonard is alive and on the court, they can maybe make a conference finals run.
I can agree with that, but he's never on the court.
I'm with you.
And that's that's a devastating thing about Kawhi injuries. They come out of nowhere. In the last 2 years, it's been in the playoffs. Like 2 years ago, they beat Phoenix if Kawhi don't get hurt.
For sure.
He's dogging them niggas the first 2 games.
For sure.
And then this mysterious calf injury comes out of nowhere, and it's over. So, like, if he's healthy, I think the Paul George thing goes well. By the way, did you see the video of Paul George getting stuck in the Eagle celebration?
That's funny as hell.
That nigga needs to get better tents. He was just driving like, all right, let me get out of here.
By the way, I have a Philly take. If Embiid if Embiid isn't going to be healthy, trade everybody.
I mean, they doing that on their damn self. They are doing their damn self,
but like literally tank. Because they're. Oh, do you know that if the pick that they get is not below the 6th pick, it belongs to the Thunder?
Oh, for real?
So, yes. So Thunder might have another lottery pick.
The Thunder just got to win a championship, and we got to put Sam Presti in the Hall of Fame.
Literally.
Like, honestly, win a championship, Sam Presti's going to the Hall of Fame for everything he's done. I want to say this about the Cavaliers. They've been playing terribly last couple of games. Defense is went to hell these last couple of games for them. But this is my issue with the Cavaliers. They smell like a team that's going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and just lose.
Probably.
And not that that's a bad year for them, but it just doesn't feel like I don't have enough faith in Donovan Mitchell to beat the Boston Celtics. I'm huge on the Knicks. I'm big on the Knicks. I think the Knicks can make it out the NBA Finals. I mean, after the Eastern Conference makes the NBA Finals. And I still can't shut the door on Milwaukee just because they do have Giannis and Dame. And even though Indiana went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, that's because Giannis and Dame were getting hurt. Like, they could have won that series if they was healthy. I think when healthy, you still got to beat those guys. But with Cleveland, I don't know. And Boston, too. I think Boston is – we see a lot of teams in the second year. They're not as dominant as they were before. To me, this just feels like – I don't want to say OKC's to lose it. I don't think they're head and shoulders against anybody. But to me, if I had to pick one team to win it all, it would be OKC. And I think that Shea is – and everything Jokic is doing the crazy, I know. But he didn't want –
foolishness.
Yeah, and Jokic is doing some wild stuff right now. Like, it's ridiculous. But Shea is the MVP. In my opinion. So that's why I have to go with them. Final topic here with you, man. This is a team who is not going to be in the NBA Finals, but they're making a lot of movements. They are the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference right now. That is Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons. Cade has been getting unfairly slandered these last couple of years because he's been playing with absolute scrubs. first couple years. He's been playing with scrubs, bro.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
For his first couple, he's been playing with scrubs, my nigga.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he has, bro.
No. They were being led by the criminal known as Monty Williams. that team shouldn't have lost 26 straight games, bro. That team wasn't that goddamn bad, bro. It's worse teams in the NBA than what the Pistons were last year, bro.
But still, I don't feel. But I feel like the slander towards him wasn't.
I agree.
He has always been a hooper. I love the fact that he does not like Jalen Green. I love it when they were joking with him on Inside the NBA. This nigga had a straight face. Like, I do not like that nigga. I do not like him, and I hope they get the 6th seed. They're gonna be battling with Orlando for that fight for the rest of the season. I want to see a star like him in there. What do you think about Cade, the Pistons, and everything that JB Bickerstaff has done since coming over to be the new head coach?
I mean, man, I love Cade. I think Cade is having a great season. I think he's validating that. Well, when they were coming out, I said I would have picked Jalen Green over Cade Cunningham. Clearly, that's why I don't get paid to do this stuff, because I would have gotten fired for that. But clearly, Cade is, he's a great playmaker. He needs to cut down his turnovers, though. But I love the way Cade is playing. It sucks that Jaden Ivey got hurt, but I remember having a take a few years ago, and I stand by it, that Cade and Ivy were going to be like baby LeBron and D Wade. I still stand by that take. But nah, what you mean? I said baby Bron and D Wade.
Yeah, that's a very baby Bron and D Wade, but
that Jalen Duren. I like Jalen Duren. Isaiah Stewart is insane, but I fuck with Isaiah Stewart. The other Thompson twin. What is it? Asar. I like the way he's playing. Tobias has been very solid for them. Malik Beasley has been solid. Tim Hardaway Jr. I appreciate one thing. I do appreciate the fact is they finally got some actual adults and pros in the room. You bringing in Malik Beasley, you bringing in Tobias Harris, you bringing in Tim Hardaway Jr., actual proven NBA veterans. And yeah, I think they'll, if they don't make the playoffs, they will at least be in the play-in and be playing some quality basketball. And good for Detroit, bro. Really, like good for Detroit, bro. Like Detroit had that run in the 2000s and then rebuilt and then rebuilt for literally 15 years. But I think Cade has a chance to go down as a top 5 Piston ever. And I think that if he continues on this track, he will be. So shout out Cade Cunningham. I love watching him play. I love what the Pistons are doing this season.
And Detroit, they have some good sports thing going. Obviously, we just talked to Chuck about the Lions. The Tigers made the playoffs this past year. The Tigers made the playoffs. They got, I don't know what the Red Wings are doing. I can't tell you, but I know in the big 3 sports they got something going on. So, Pab, man, we know you got a new record out right now. Got another one coming out soon. Got a video dropping soon. Let them know, everything you got coming out. What you like about the reception that you got.
Yeah, man. Check out the new record. All the Things a Man Won't Do, which is out right now. You can find that on any streaming platform you want to find it at. It seems like a lot of people like the song, so shout out y'all. Right in time for Valentine's Day, or really, I should say February 15th music. If y'all know the significance of February 15th. But yeah, man, go check out that record. I got another record after that dropping with the homie Boy Illinois, and I might have another record dropping after that. So y'all can get a lot of music this year. And again, thank y'all, the ones who have checked it out. Thank you guys for checking it out. And if you haven't checked it out, what you waiting on, man? Go out there and give me 2 minutes and 50 seconds of your time. So yeah.
Definitely, man. Pav, we will holler at you. Follow him at Pavy World on all social media platforms, man.
All right, bro.
Yes, sir. We are about to take one more break here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. And then we're gonna come back. We got Courtney and Bang on the other side. We're gonna do a local hour. And so we'll be right back.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Not Gonna Hold You. We got Courtney back in here. We got Bang back in here, man. Shout out to Pavy for joining us. Shout out to Chuck Inglish for joining us, man. Very rarely do we have Courtney here on the local hour, but we got Courtney on the local hour. We got a little bit of baseball talk. Go ahead, Courtney.
Bang, you got to sing the song. Sing the song, Bang. Hit my music.
Bang, your mic is not on, nigga.
Oh,
Oh my God! It is
Oh,
the
there we
local hour.
There we go.
Local hour.
There we go. It
that's
is
what I
the
expect every
local
time I come on the local hour. Bang, you gotta hit the music.
Gotta hit the notes, man. Cause I do not be singing the hook when Bang don't be on here. I just be like, yeah, niggas local hour. Sponsored by absolutely nobody. We will get a sponsor for this show eventually. I'm gonna figure out something to get that. But Courtney, man, I just wanted to talk about what's been going on with the Cubs. As much as I do not like them, even though I have moved my allegiance to Chavez Ravine. It is I still just don't like their fans, but I gotta give a little bit of credit to Jed Hoyer. Going out there getting Kyle Tucker, trading Ryan Presley last night. Even he turned down his, he had his no trade clause activated because he was guaranteed to be the closer. Now, a lot of people saying that they're not done yet. Feels like this trade opens up the way for Alex Bregman to go back to Houston, but Bruce Levine of ESPN said that would not shock him if the Cubs were still in this. Courtney, what do you think about the moves that they've made? Do you think they can win the NL Central?
Yeah. Well, I guess, yeah, I'm going to give Jed Hoyer some props. Simply because his fucking ownership is cheap as hell. So bro's just forced to assemble a roster with, minimal resources. Fucking it's ridiculous. Because the NL Central, and also this is in a larger discussion about that mid-ass fucking division. So yeah, the Cubs should win the NL Central. The Brewers lost Devin Williams to the Yankees. Willie Adames to the Giants, so that takes away two key pieces for Milwaukee. Milwaukee won 93 games last season. Cubs won 83.
Yeah, it was like 89, something like that.
83, something like that.
83, yeah, it wasn't 89. It was 83. You're right.
Yeah, don't give them that.
I was giving them a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, they lost a lot of guys. Kyle Hendricks is like, there's no ace in that rotation. I'm thinking about all their pitching. They need a lefty in the bullpen for sure. Also, I don't think a lot of people know because Cubs fans probably don't watch a lot of Astros baseball. But as of late, Ryan Presley has jokingly been called Ryan Stressley because that nigga stresses you out. That's why he got demoted out of that closing role to just like a late innings kind of relief role. He lost obviously the job to Josh Hader, but yeah. I mean, I guess Kyle Tucker, that's a great acquisition. Patrick Wisdom is learning Mandarin or something right now. He's fucking who's he playing for now? Oh, my bad. That sounds racist. I think he's in KBO. My bad. That's crazy. But no, I'm not sold. I'm really, really not sold on this Cubs team. I'm so sorry. I guess in the midst of that mid-ass division, maybe.
I put it like this from yeah. I look at it like this. Like they should win a division on paper because this is a trash division. I think that Milwaukee, I don't even know what they're doing. They're obviously not trying to compete.
And that's so disappointing, Scott, that like this division is literally wide open for grabs and like no one seems to want to do anything with it. And like, listen, Pittsburgh, their ownership has been, cheap, but they've got a nice rotation. Cincinnati, he's a broke boy. Sell the team. I'm really struggling to figure because the Cubs fucking print money, bro. You got all that money to fucking flip the block. Bro, there's no salary cap in this sport. It's the shit that just blows me. There's no salary cap in this sport. So what? Everyone's just kind of like resigning to the fact that the Dodgers are just going to win? Is that?
Yeah,
go for it. My bad.
I just got to say, Alex is in the chat excited because he thought that Orlando meant that the Cubs got Bregman. No, he's saying if they got Bregman. They're not.
I don't know if they'll get, Scott Boras is kind of fucking overplaying his hand too.
Which is what he loves to do because it works out for him more than it doesn't. I think like this. Like if you look at the division, that yes, they probably should. My biggest question mark is like what you just said, Courtney. I don't like their rotation like that. I just don't. I think
they just don't have any. They don't have any I mean, what you got? Shota Imanaga.
That's really about it. That's really about it. Like, there's no real actual aces on that team.
They got Matthew Boyd. But that's a 3-4 starter. You know, that's not an ace. That's not a guy that, like, in a wild card series, I'm sending him. That's crazy. That man don't put the fear of God in me. That's crazy. That's crazy. The fucking Chicago Cubs can't spend the fucking money and fucking luxury tax. Go fucking win. You could literally win your division. And as we have seen in baseball as of late, it's not necessarily the teams that, you know, spend the most that win. It's who's healthy, who gets hot at the right times. We just saw with the fucking Diamondbacks and the Rangers 2 years ago. So it's inexcusable to me that in an organization and a team like the Cubs are just like, you know, we're going to make a couple of these moves. And again, like I said, you said it earlier, shout out to Jed Hoyer for doing what he can with the limited resources that he's been given from his ownership. But this shit's kind of pathetic, actually. It's really pathetic.
It's very pathetic because, like you just said, they're the Chicago Cubs. Like, what are we doing? Like, you make enough money to be able to go out there. Like, why are you? There shouldn't even be a conversation about not paying Kyle Tucker. Like last year, I thought that they were going to get in the Shohei Ohtani talks. They didn't. Whether you miss out on them or not, you have to at least be in those talks. So yeah, I think they did enough to, if healthy, couple things go their way that they can run away with the Central, but they're not going to do anything.
I mean, I could see a scenario where they don't necessarily win the division, but they could get a wild card spot. I could see that. I'm sorry. Until proven otherwise, I'm kind of just going to assume and operate under the guise that the Brewers are just going to win the division again. Like
that's how they always do.
The Cubs could win 89 games this season, but the Brewers are going to find a way to win like 90 or 91, you know?
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think that long term, I think it's going to be a 1 year thing for Kyle Tucker. I don't see them paying him the money that he's going to want, paying him the money that Scott Boras is going to want him to want as well. And this is going to sound funny because I really do not like Cubs fans, but I actually feel bad for the fan base because they're a loyal fan base. I don't know if it was Ricky's trying to actually blame the fans at the Cub Fest like a week or two ago and saying, oh, we know if people came and did this, like they always come to the games. They're going to spend money. They're going to do what they're going to do. And you put out a mediocre product every year. And to me, that's the issue with not just them, but damn near every Chicago sports team. And they shouldn't be the ones doing that. White Sox, whatever. Like the best thing the White Sox fans are going to get this year is the 20th anniversary of the 05 team. Like
that bobblehead looked pretty cool.
The Mark Burley statue. Look, man, I like Mark Burley. I think statue's a little much, but that's not my calling.
That is crazy.
It's not my calling anymore. I think Harold Baines having a statue as well. And like to me, it should be Big Frank and like somebody else. That's really about it. But that's pretty much it. Ricky said they break even. That's what it said. That's what it said. They break even.
Yeah, maybe if you stop funding your fucking bitch ass Pete Ricketts fucking shitty political career, maybe you'd have money to pay pitchers. I'm just saying.
Definitely. Courtney,
in politics. Go fucking get some business.
Courtney, any final baseball text before we get you about it?
Shit, no, man. It's so disappointing because it's like what I said earlier in the show about like the Cowboys are like, that's like an American institution, right? The Cubs, baseball is better when the Cubs are good. And when Chicago sports as a whole are good. So it just really sucks to me to kind of see these teams not really making the effort that I believe they should be making. It's disappointing. Yeah. White Sox fucking suck. But the Cubs, it's inexcusable. It's inexcusable.
100%. She is Courtney Collarbro. You can follow her at 1-800-Collarbro on all social media platforms. Courtney, you're going to be on Friday or?
I have a game on Friday.
Okay, so we'll holler at you next week when we do our Super Bowl preview show. So, Courtney, we'll holler at you.
Cheers.
All right, we're going to bring Mr. J.R. Bain back in here, man, as we're going to talk some Chicago Bears football here. Ben Johnson putting the staff together, man. Ben Johnson, it doesn't feel like it's been only a week since he's been the coach, but it has been a week since he has been the coach. And he got to work this past weekend of adding people to his coaching team, man. So coaching staff. As soon as he got hired last Monday, immediately Adam Schefter put out a report that Dennis Allen, the former head coach of the New Orleans Saints, was rumored to be his defensive coordinator, and that was confirmed yesterday. Now, I haven't gotten, I'm looking at my email, see if they sent them. No, I have not gotten the official press release from the Bears about this, which means they probably still working on actual contract details with him, but he's going to be defensive coordinator. Declan Doyle is going to be the offensive coordinator. He's like a 28-year-old tight ends coach with the Denver Broncos last year. People said that he is a Sean Payton disciple, but we really don't know that much about him. You know, it didn't really, this one kind of came out of left field a little bit. But he's going to be the offensive coordinator. Of course, he won't be calling plays. That will be Ben Johnson. Richard Hightower is the only coach from last year's staff who kept his job. So he does not have to find a realtor to find a new house. He will continue to be the special teams head coach. Al Harris is leaving the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to come over as the defensive passing game coordinator and working with the DBs over there. Antoine Randall is going to be leaving Detroit, coming back home to Chicago. He's going to be the assistant head coach and also be wide receiver coach. And, of course, JT Barrett, the former Ohio State Buckeye, is also leaving Detroit. He will be Caleb Williams' quarterback coach. Just my thoughts on this. I love the Dennis Allen hire. His last couple of years calling plays, he's been a really, really good defensive coordinator, been finished top 10, a lot of top 5 starts. I think that if you continue to add roster-wise, you still need to fix that defensive line. This is going to be a more playmaking defense than we've seen in the last couple of years, probably since Vic Fangio led the defense. So I'm excited about that. And he's a head coach with a lot of experience. When you're a first-time coach like Ben Johnson, you want to surround yourself with experience. Declan Doyle, I don't know. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I know about this kid. I don't know much outside of what they're telling me. And I'm calling him a kid because I'm 8 years older than him. He's 28 years old. Not that big of a deal for me, even though he's going to be working hand in hand with Caleb. So I don't want to act like it's not a big deal. But at the end of the day, Ben Johnson's going to be calling plays. So I don't really have too much an opinion about that. Richard Hightower, I thought he was a really good special teams coach. I'm glad that he's back. He was probably the only coach on the coaching staff who didn't give us cookie cutter answers when he would come up to the podium and have his podium days. So it's going to be good to see him running back. Al Harris, Antoine Randall, JT Beer. I love these. I think Al Harris is going to make a man out of Tyree Stevenson, which is desperately needed. I tweeted as soon as Ben Johnson was hired, bring Antoine Randall home. He is coming back over here. I think he's going to be great in assistant head coach role, helping Ben out, and it's really going to be good for the wide receivers. I know we're not going to be using DJ Moore like a running back. JT Barrett, that's going to be good for him as well. Alex got something to chase that Brad Biggs said about 20 minutes ago. Bears expected to retain tight end coach Jim Dre, linebacker coach Borgenzi, DL coach Travis Smith, and safety coach Andre Curtis. I didn't know all of them. He said not for sure. But yeah, that's what he's expecting. Well, that would be good if it could, because Andre Curtis, I think, is really good. I'm not mad at any of those. As long as they get a new offensive line coach. Obviously, they fired a new offensive line coach. So that'd be good as well, man. So I think it's a good start. I think that this is a solid professional coaching staff for Ben. And now it's up to Ryan Poles to add the players to it. Ben, what do you think about what you've seen from these hires, and what's your opinion on them?
With the Declan Doyle joint is already like a lot of weird rumors that's going around. Like he's Mike Dicker's nephew and everything. Everybody's trying to find some weird ass reason to try to make sense of and hire of a 28-year-old offensive coordinator. But I think you said it right. I think that one, he's highly regarded around the league as an up-and-comer. Sean Payton, he was on his staff while he was in Denver, and stuff like that too. So when I see something like that, I'm like, all right, cool. He's worked with people that is highly respected. The second part about it is it's not like he's going to be calling plays. Like even during the press conference, even though the press conference, Ben Johnson was saying like he needs somebody to prepare, get everything, in order, and basically I'll take care of the rest. So it does feel like, well, one, Ben Johnson is the offensive coordinator of this team, but it does feel like that he has somebody that he can groom and grow. And depending on how he does it, he has somebody that's going to be around for a couple of years. I don't think there's going to be somebody that's going to take a chance on a 31-year-old offensive coordinator that's not going to be calling some plays. So I do see the fix might be in if he could groom him and grow him and everything. Ben Johnson could possibly seed play calling him one day. But right now, I got somebody that I could groom and grow and put my offense in the right position. As far as everything else, Den Allen is the star here. Dennis Allen being the defensive coordinator on a team that has defensive pieces around them. Hey, I am really looking at growth from the defensive side of the ball, especially if they do what they need to do in draft and free agency, which is to find somebody opposite of Montez Sweat, find a 3-tech, or get Billings healthy. Because I forgot who it was they was talking. I heard them talking today. It's like Gervon Dexter was doing well for a while until Billings got hurt. Things changed. Even Ben Johnson talked about Andrew Billings. Didn't think we would ever hear so many people so much talk around Billings really being the cornerstone of this defensive line. So if you could get Billings back healthy, Gervon Dexter is probably going to profit off of it. You find somebody opposite of Montez Sweat, and you find a future tackle and a future center in this draft. Ben Johnson's going to have a lot to play with. Dennis Allen's going to have a lot to play with, and we saw what he did and with the Saints when he was the defensive coordinator and when he had pieces around him. Outside of that, as far as the position coaches go, the Travis Smith thing is going to be interesting too, since they work with each other. So it's like, okay, what can you do to get the best out of this defensive line? That's already a duo that I'm looking at, probably more than the Ben Johnson, Declan Doyle thing, because defensively, we know what Dennis Allen can do, and we need growth on that defensive line. Also, one thing about the Declan Doyle thing that is confirmed is that Chris Doyle is his dad. For those who don't know who Chris Doyle is, that's the dude that was the strength and conditioning coach over at Iowa. That James Daniels, former Chicago Bear, James Daniels, while he was at Iowa, and a couple of Iowa players said that he was racist as hell. So interesting.
It is interesting, but I will shoot him this bill. Just because daddy racist don't mean he is.
Oh
yeah.
I'm not saying that.
No, I saw Dan Bernstein alluding to that on earlier on, and I was just like, there's a lot of people who parents are pieces of shit, and they're not. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll shoot him some bail on that.
It's always interesting when white people do that shit.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. They'll be the ones who like it's Christmas time. Not that this has never been my experience, because the reason for that I can't say on the show, but I can say on some sessions. But like, you have a friend and like, oh well, we're not gonna bring you over. My dad doesn't like black people, but they're not like that. It could be one of them situations. But I want to go to something, Bane, that I was talking about earlier in the show that you didn't know about. So Rick Smith, Priority Sports, who is Ben Johnson's agent, was on Bill Zimmerman. Bill Zimmerman, he's one of the, I would say, biggest names in Bears Twitter. He breaks a lot of news, gives a lot of insight. He has a podcast called Bears Banter, and he did an interview with Rick Smith, and very, very good interview. It's about 20-minute interview. Shout out to Mikey for sending in the chat over the weekend. I sat and watched it. Very informative, and from a Bears fan, it was music to my ears. As somebody who loves to be right, I said from day one, I never believed the Ben Johnson smoke. I mean, the Ben Johnson, the Raiders smoke, especially when Josina Anderson had a tweet that I felt went really under the radar when she said, pay attention to Ben Johnson's interview process and the team that they say he's going to go to. If you really want to go to another team, but you want to be paid well, you're going to act like you're going to go somewhere else. And so to me, it just felt like the Raider thing was something made up so it can have the Bears paying out of their pocket more. And kind of find out that was true. Zimmerman asked him the question, and Alex Smith said, not Alex Smith, but Rick Smith said, yeah, that was something that I made up. It was bullshit. He said, I made it up. Me and Ben made it up together, and we put it out as soon as the Lions got eliminated. And that was just to move momentum to him going towards the Bears and letting the Bears know they were interested. This is something he said from the jump. He said that the process that Ryan Poles put together was flawless. He said it was a great interview process. He heard a lot of the complaints from media and fans about you're interviewing too many people. He said at the end of the day, this is where Ben wanted to be. And this is a process that they did completely well. He said any of the questions that Ben had, because alignment was something that really mattered to Ben, he said Ryan Poles cleared up in the first 5-10 minutes of it. He said he felt Ryan Poles was very open about his mistakes that he's made in his first 3 years and how he's going to change them. And he also came to Ben, and this is something Ben said in his press conference, that he's going to have a voice in player, roster decisions, is that he's asking for a team. And he said Ben felt confident that this was going to be the case. And the number one thing that stood out to me, he said, look, I've dealt with the Bears before. We've heard of other people dealt with the Bears. He said, this is a new Bears. He said, this is not the old Bears. They move differently. They move like a charter franchise. And he said that is all because of Kevin Warren. And he believes that this is something that's going to work, not just for Ben, but for other players who eventually want to work with the Bears. What's coming to your mind when you hear an agent say these things that we've never heard said about the Bears before?
Wow. Considering the Trace Armstrong shit, this makes this even bigger, because when you read that ESPN report from Courtney Cronin, and I forgot the other young lady's name, so please forgive me. Trace Armstrong was running that organization from a shadow position. I think it was very important for Rick Smith, and I would not be surprised if the Bears was like, oh no, talk your shit. It's very interesting that Rick Smith would be as open as he was about this whole situation. But again, considering what happened with the ESPN report, it wouldn't surprise me if the Bears had something to do with it. I also, like we talked about, thought it was a negotiation ploy too. Because as we said early in the show, what the fuck you going to the Raiders for? Like, what's there for you? I was probably more concerned about the Jacksonville Jaguars than I was anything else, because if they get rid of Trent Baalke, then Ben is like, yo, I could get everything that I want. But it is clear now, between his words, his actions at the press conference, and Rick Smith, it is clear that he wanted to come here. And it's clear to me that it's not just money that got him here. He was going to maximize his potential, as we all should. But it's clear to me that he believes the words that he said at the press conference, that he feels like the Bears is a sleeping giant. I felt like that for years. I think others have looked past it because of what we talk about here, the Bears tax. But Ben Johnson sees something. I don't know if it's going to happen next year, because that road schedule they got, oh my God.
That's
it
crazy
is
road. I
murderous
always say
road.
this about the schedule. I try not to do too much, but there's 3 games on that for sure are going to be hard.
Yeah. On this one,
at Philadelphia, and there's one more I'm missing.
Yeah, but on this one, it's those teams are good now, and I don't expect them to lose much on the majority of those road games. Now, the divisional games are very winnable because of we've done it before, and we got to But what I'm saying is that it might not happen this year. It might not. But if it does, it's going to not only confirm what he says, but that means Caleb is having I don't want to go too far in saying this, but I will in this case, considering what happened and where he finished at this year. Caleb may have an MVP type season if they're successful next year.
And that's kind of like a segue into the next point is watching what Jayden Daniels did this year, watching the Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen rivalry, if you want to call that. Josh hasn't beat the nigga in the playoffs, but do you like what chances do you like of Caleb and Jayden being able to make this the rivalry of the NFC? Because there's no rivalries here.
I fully expect that. Because I see, all due respect, fuck Chris Canty.
Yeah,
all due respect.
Fuck
Chris Canty.
Fuck Chris Canty.
The reason why I say that shit is because I understand you saying shit to get calls and get people riled up. But for him to call Caleb Sam Bowie, the Bears drafted Sam Bowie twice. You have to know and understand that Sam Bowie was an injury-prone center who did have a long 10, I think he had a 10, 11-year career. But he was an injury-prone center. Add context to your shit, and you can still get what you need to get out of it, unless you flat out tell us that Caleb is not going to be a good NFL quarterback. Let me first say this. I don't give a shit if Jayden Daniels have a better career than Caleb Williams. I care that Caleb Williams have a great career. That's it. Not comparing him with anybody else. As long as Caleb Williams has a great career with the Chicago Bears, I am okay. But with that great career, he's going to need a rivalry. He's going to need somebody that is he's going to need a Troy Aikman needed Steve Young. Even on the outside, non-divisional, Joe Montana needed Dan Marino.
Yep.
Right? Like Brett Favre needed to see Steve Young and Troy Aikman. And the rivalry for us when it comes to quarterbacks is Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
Yep.
Peyton Manning has one ring, I'll just say, with the Colts. He has one ring with the Colts. Do we go around and we look at Peyton Manning as a failure with the Colts? No. He has 2 in his career. I don't give a damn if Tom Brady got 7. I'll take the 2. And he can have him whatever career he wants to, but I'll take those 2. That's what these 2 are. They are joined at the hip. And when you're 1 and 2, joined at the hip. The last 2 Heisman Trophy winners joined at the hip. Well, before this year, joined at the hip. The expectation for the Bears is to have a decent season. Caleb threw over 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, something like that.
Yep.
We can definitely see improvement from that with Ben Johnson. He could throw for 4,000 yards for the first Bear to do that. And then let's not get it mixed up. If you look at the history of the Bears, there's always been some type of rivalry between the Bears and the Redskins / Commanders.
Yep.
Go look at the 80s. Go ask any old Bear outside of the Bears Packers. They hated them damn Redskins. The last game correct me if I'm wrong, but the last game that Walter Payton played was against the Washington Redskins at home. They lost the game where they was favored at.
Yep.
They hate the Bears. Doc Walker, former Redskins great, part of the Hogs, tight end, told me, fuck the Bears. I hate the Bears. I hate Soldier Field. I hate that cold-ass stadium. I hate that win. When we played them, we always wanted to beat them because of who they were. They talk about the 85 Bears more than they talk about the Redskins, and the Redskins / Commanders has more titles in the 80s than the Bears do.
In their entire existence.
So
yeah, I agree 100%, and I'm expecting a big season from Caleb. Like I said, I'm not giving win predictions. I'm doing none of that. Now, check back with me in July when I probably came back from week 1 of camp like, oh, niggas are squabbling. Like, but I am not. I plan on not giving any win predictions. I don't care who they sign in free agency. I don't care what happens in the draft. But I fully expect Caleb Williams to take the jump, and this will be no excuses. And now, here's the caveat. If Ryan Poles actually surrounds him with a half-decent offensive line, because I do not feel the offensive line is getting fixed in one season, in one offseason. I just do not see that happening. Like you said, Bang, I think this is a 2-year thing before the offensive line is, okay, one of the best in the league, hopefully, if it gets to that. I believe Trey Smith hit his free agency when I see it. I don't believe, like, offensive linemen are like quarterbacks. Very rarely do they hit the market. So that I got to see. But if there's a half-decent offensive line around Caleb, there's no excuses. You got your head coach, who Caleb said himself he wanted, who we all wanted. You've got a nice offensive staff, JT Barrett, Antoine Randall. You've got all that around to where it will be nobody but him. And I truly expect him to take it to the next level. And the door is open. And this is no disrespect to Jalen Hurts. We just gave him a lot of praise in the first hour. I don't see him being as a rival to Jayden in the quarterback duel aspect, just because I don't see him being as talented as a Jayden Daniels. Like, I believe the Eagles are going to be the team that you got to go through for both the Commanders and the Bears. Obviously, they're the gold standard in the NFC, and even more so for the Commanders because they're in the same division. So they're going to have to deal with them niggas forever. And if the Bears, you're trying to get to the Super Bowl, you're going to have to deal with the Eagles too. But when it comes to quarterback, it's set up perfectly. Like I said, the last 2 Heisman winners before Travis Hunter. So 2 of the last 3 Heisman winners, the last 2 quarterbacks to win it. They're going to be joined at the hip forever. And like you said, Bank, I don't need him to be better than him. If he can, awesome. But do you think that Eli Manning lose sleep at night knowing that he's not a better quarterback than Phillip Rivers? No. What does the jewelry say, my nigga? Like do you think that all these, I'm trying to think of another comparison of quarterbacks will ended up the same. Like the Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's not a better quarterback than Tom Brady. I think he sleeps pretty good with his 2 championship rings. Ben
Roethlisberger too.
Ben Roethlisberger. You know what I'm saying? Drew Brees. Like, I don't need him to be better. I just need him to be in that conversation, and I see no reason why he can't. And I'm telling you what's going to be a Monday Night Football game next year. That game in DC is going to be Monday Night Football. They're not putting that on Thursday Night Football. That is going to be a Monday Night Football game in DC. This is going to be a story forever, and especially if both teams start hot. That's going to be a big game right there.
Like, to me, the Bears Commanders has the potential of being this generation's Cowboys and 49ers.
Yeah, potential. Yeah.
It has the potential to do that. And if Ben Johnson is who he say is, like, look, there's not been one. The only thing that scares me about the Ben Johnson thing is there's not been one former coach that's been like, nah, I don't think the Bears made a mistake. Like, when you got Mike Martz, like, yo, he's a genius, that could be a little bit scary because we don't necessarily fuck with Mike Martz like that. But
my issue is Mike Martz. He traded you to Greg Olsen. I would hang that over his head forever.
Hey, again, like, look, this is who.
I want to know what Belichick thinks. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I do.
When Belichick get back on Pat McAfee, Pat need to ask him that.
But when you look at all of these coaches, like, yo, y'all got the Wonderkin, y'all got the next Bill Walsh and all of those. Now, that makes me scared. But when you look at the potential of what this could be, I hope Jayden Daniels is successful for the next 15 years. Because I hope that Caleb Williams is successful for the next 15 years. Why? Because outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, outside of Bears, Packers, I want the Bears to be geared up for another real, true rivalry. And if that is the Commanders, then shit, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I definitely think that that's a good chance of doing that, man. I want to go to my final topic, and then we're going to wrap today's episode up, man. Like I said, no show next Monday. We had a show on Friday. This time next week, I'll be in the Mercedes-Benz, not Mercedes, the Caesar Superdome, getting ready for opening night, which I bought me one of them phone tripod things.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I'm like, hey man, for all the fellow short kings out there, nigga, sometimes we can't see over certain. And when I go to Patrick Mahomes' little interview cubicle with Jalen Hurts, I don't want to be missing out. So I bought one of them to help record my stuff. But next Monday, I will be in New Orleans for Monday through Thursday, doing opening night practices, media appearances, all the whole nine. I'll actually get the schedule soon. And then next Friday, we're going to have our Super Bowl preview special. We're going to be showing all the content we shot back there. But before I get to that, I had to end this with the Chicago Bulls. And I'll say this weekend, I didn't know what to do myself on Saturday. I was completely bored. There was no football on since early August. There was no NFL, no college football, it was just nothing. So I was searching for things to watch. He said Scott gonna look like that Drake meme when he sees Pat. First of all, I already met Patrick Mahomes. So, and shout out to, the funny thing is the Bears new he's the associate to Kevin Warren, player personnel, Ted Cruz. He used to work for the Chiefs. And I think he was in their communications 2 years ago when they played the Chiefs. After I asked Pat the question about the Bears not drafting them, I waited outside the door to meet this nigga. I had to shake his hand. I'm a big fan. So, yeah, I've already met him. But to go back to the Bulls, I did not know what to watch this weekend. So I started watching sports documentaries. I rewatched the Patriots 10-part Dynasty documentary, and it made me actually go back and watch The Last Dance. And every time I watch The Last Dance, I get this bittersweet feeling in my body. One, because it was a great time. Those teams made me a sports fan. I don't remember the first three-peat. I was 5 when they won championship number 3, so I don't remember those 3. But I remember the last 3. I remember going to the parades. I remember going up to Sears to get the championship shirts. So those final 3 teams made me a sports fan. And to see the Bulls be such a dead franchise right now, with no path to be even being decent. There's no path for them to be even a 5th seed right now. It makes me it makes me a little sad, because even though I've emotionally detached myself from the team, I have not watched a Bulls game in 3 years. The last game I watched was that playoff game when they got absolutely assaulted by the Milwaukee Bucks 3 years ago. I have not watched a game since then. But it pains me to see them be with that. And I just don't know what they're doing. Like, what's the plan here? We all know Jerry Reinsdorf said when he dies, he wants his kids to sell the White Sox. So at least there's kind of some light at the end of the tunnel for that franchise, right? He specifically told his kids, don't sell the Bulls. Now, the kids can say, go to hell, Dad, and sell the team anyway. Even though I don't think they're going to do that. I just saw the top 10 highest selling merchandise in the NBA, and the Bulls are still 5. You know what I'm saying? What's the plan here? I hear rumors about them trading for Bradley Beal, who don't have a no trade clause. He got the worst contract in basketball. What are we doing? And it makes me mad, because you got these fans who come to the game, very loyal fans, the iconic Bulls logo that people still love. The Bulls are still one of the biggest international draws in the NBA. That's why they sent them to the Paris games last year. And I'm tired of what are you actually going to do? Arturas Karnisovas is so bad that it made me miss John Paxson. Like we've been asking, Bang, what does West Side West do? What does he do? I haven't seen that nigga in like 2 years. What does he do? What's the fate of this team? They should have traded both Vucevic and Zach LaVine before the season started.
Yep.
Now you have no chance to get Cooper Flag unless they pull a Derrick Rose, where they spike the ping pong balls and give you a chance. You're not getting my man Bailey. You're probably going to be at pick 8 or 9 again. And now you're not even going to get high quality for Zach. I was watching Brian Windhorst talk about that. There's no market for him. And it's just like, what are we doing? It's one of the marquee franchise. The Bulls should be what the Lakers and Celtics are. They should be. And Pavy told me this years ago. I did not want to hear it. But he was 100% correct. Without Michael Jordan, and now you can say Derrick Rose too, what is this franchise? There's nothing to it. There's nothing to it. And I'm just, as somebody who has been detached and has not watched the game in 3 years, it's a bleak history for an iconic franchise that obviously just does not care. We can say what we want to say about the Bears. One thing you cannot say about the Bears is that they don't care or they don't try. They try wrong. They usually hire the wrong people to do it. But one thing I'll never say about George McCaskey is he does not care. Jerry Reinsdorf does not care about this team. And now fans can't even watch the team if you're in the Chicagoland area unless you want to get an antenna like it's not 2025. Like, what are we doing, man? So that's just my rant on the Bulls. I do not plan to be talking about them that much going forward. But it's just like, it's sad to see such a franchise be that. And the only nights that we can get hype about is the nostalgia nights for Derrick Rose. And they're gonna do it next year when they put Pooh's number up. Like, it's just the same thing to me, man. That's all I got on that, man. That's all we got today on this edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Shout out to Pavy for joining us. Shout out to Chuck for joining us, man. We will be back on Friday. It'll be Mikey's last show, man. So we're gonna send Mikey out his last show on here as a full-time participant. Of course, he's gonna join whenever he can join. I know his schedule changed a lot, so he'll be back. Dante be back. Bang will be here, and we're gonna talk, a whole bunch of stuff, man. So looking forward to that. No show next Monday, and then we back the week after that for our Super Bowl preview show. And then I'll repeat this again, but we're going to take a 10-day break after the Super Bowl. We're going to have a show after the Super Bowl, recap that. After that, we're going to be off for 10 days because NBA is going on their All-Star break. And so we'll be back when NBA comes back from their All-Star break. So, Ben, anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
Real quick, you was exactly right about your Bulls thing. Shouts out to Sean Davis. He said the same thing, too. Without Michael Jordan and without Derrick Rose, what is the Bulls? A terrible franchise.
They're the
They
Orlando
lucked up
Magic.
twice.
They literally lucked up twice. Nobody thought Mike was going to be what he's going to be, so I'm not going to give Rod Thorne that much credit for that. And Derrick Rose, they literally got lucky. Literally. I remember the day that the Bulls won a lottery. I was expecting 8th or 9th pick. So unless they get lucky and Adam Silver's like enough, you know what I'm saying, Cooper Flag, y'all, it's a wrap, bro. So there will be an episode of Summer Sessions this week. Last week, we had the press conference for the Bears, and then I had to do 79th and Hallis. He said, damn, Mikey is Maul. I did not fire him. No, I did not fire Mikey. He's not Maul. But last week, we couldn't do Summer Sessions because me and Bang had to do 79th and Hallis. But Summer Sessions will be back this week. I'm going to predict Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl set. And if there's any question by him playing Not Like Us, I think those questions have been asked in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Outside of UMG hitting a 140-page, get out of here, Drake, to the courts, you've had the beat get played in the commercial, and then a full commercial where they did like a jazz New Orleans type version of Not Like Us. That song is getting played. That song is getting played. Summer Sessions, yeah, B-Dot, you being funny. Like, oh, what's that? What's Summer Sessions? It will be on the Patreon this week, man. So you can follow Bang at all social media platforms at JR Bang. You can follow me at Barberchair Scott. Follow the Barbers Chair Network at Barbers Chair Net. Follow our partners H&B Media at H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram. And of course, subscribe to our Patreon. Patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. If you are listening to this on the podcast version, the link is right there in the description box. If you are watching this on YouTube, you can take your phone right up to the screen and it will take you to the QR code. All with the other 10, with all three tiers. If you subscribe to the $10 holler, you get 25% off your first order. The Barbers Chat Network shop. That is the BC Net shop. gmail.com, man. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week. We will be back on Friday for me and Bang. We gonna holler at y'all, man. We up out of here.